Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. Donny van der Beek is not starting, you cheeky chat. You bunch of cheeky chatters. Donny van der Beek is not starting, so don't fall for the scammers in the chat. I'm sure the moderators will sort those out and dismiss them to the naughty corner. Manchester United, massive game today, as we know. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, which I actually quite like. You get a bit of a Saturday evening, don't you? I'm going to watch a film or something like that. But will it be a horror film or will it be a fantasy film? And what I mean is, will Manchester United put us in a horror mood or will they put us in a happy mood? So Manchester United at home to West Ham. The team is pretty much going to be that team. There's some people moaning about how early this team's been leaked. Look, I'll put my hands up. I think I leaked a Liverpool team against Liverpool quite early. It might have been this season, actually. And I regretted it because ultimately the win you get for going, oh, look, I've got information is soon taken away by those people who say, why are you putting it as a disadvantage? I've got no problem with a leaked team or 2 or 3 players, a couple of hours before kickoff, but a league team should not be coming out 3 or 4 hours before the game. It doesn't help. And I think some people just do it because they want the retweets and everything like that. But you're always, if you want to do it, do it. It's your opinion, but you're going to get people going, you're not really helping the team you support when you put it out that soon. But look, having said that, there's not a lot of shocks in there. Ralph Rangnick last night said that Harry Maguire was going to be on the team. And as one Sizzy says, Donny does start on the bench as normal. He's an ever-present. Unchanged apart from Maguire, Shub. You're absolutely right. And look, I did actually tweet it this morning. I had a little bit of concern about whether Ronaldo and Elanga would start, but they are both starting, and that's a positive. Obviously, I think the midfield. Look, I don't think Fred has played that well. I've been sent a little clip about he's got the most assists or something like that. I mean, look, stats can lie in the sense that, yes, he has got a couple of assists in the last game, but I've watched the game. You've watched the game. I think he's been absolutely crap. Having said that, Rangnick would be a hypocrite to change his own team. I personally would have liked to have seen Matic play in the McTominay role and McTominay play in the Fred role, because McTominay played very well in the second half against Brentford as a player that advanced. If he does that against West Ham or a better team, he will get done over like he did in the first half. He's playing as an 8, as a number 6. So I just think Matic played reasonably well for an hour away to Villa, who are playing very well at the moment, beating Everton at Goodison Park. Put Matic at number 6 for an hour and then put McTominay at 8 with Bruno and then, drop Fred. But obviously he loves Fred. He loves Fred, doesn't he? He absolutely loves Fred, does old Ralph. And I haven't really got a massive problem with that team. Obviously, we knew Harry Maguire was going to start when the press conference came out yesterday about the serious event that took place at Lindelof's house, and Lindelof's not available for selection this weekend. So would I have gone for Phil Jones over Harry Maguire? I mean, I've had a bit of a debate about it on social media. Why not have a debate about it now, just before the team news comes in? I would have started Phil Jones. I said it on form. I would have picked Phil Jones. And people said to me, you can't say it's form off one game. Well, form's temporary, they say. So one game is temporary, isn't it? But look, Harry Maguire's been crap all season. And Phil Jones was man of the match against Wolves. I would have played Phil Jones. But Maguire's the captain. We're picking him because he's the captain. We're picking him because he's £80 million worth. They're absolutely determined to make Harry Maguire part of this first team. Whether you like that or not, it will keep happening. So you better hope that it starts to work, because ultimately, if it doesn't work, we ain't going to get anywhere, are we? So it will be an interesting game. That back four, Tellez, Maguire, they don't play together much. Bowen's on fire. They're a very decent team in their front three, and our defense defensively isn't great. So we need to, look, it's the same old thing. If we don't win the midfield battle, we're in trouble. 6-point game today, massively need to win. Confidence, says Beth T there. I'm sure, I think Beth will be at the game because it's a home game, isn't it? So she should be there. The teams are out. I don't think there's any surprises. No alarms and no surprises, as the great Radiohead once said. Harry Maguire is, of course. The Man United lineup's been out for hours, as Paddy says on Twitter. It is that team that's on the screen there. We know what the team is. The only, I suppose, slight interest is what the bench is made up of, because there might be people back who weren't available midweek. I'll tell you right now, the bench consists of Henderson. Not 2 goalkeepers, which is a start. Henderson, Jones, Lingard. We've only got 1 defender fit. Fucking hell. we've only got one defender fit. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw aren't fit. So, and as we know, Lindelof's not available. So our bench is Henderson, Jones, Lingard, Mata, Matic, Van der Beek, Cavani, Martial, and Rashford. So bench ain't looking that good at the moment, I've got to be honest. And we certainly cannot afford to lose a defender because, I mean, I suppose Dalot can play left back if needed. Phil Jones could fill in at right back. He can also play centre back. Matic could drop into centre back. McTominay could play centre back. So we do have cover. But this Luke Shaw knock and Wan-Bissaka illness, Jadon Sancho not on the bench. We suspected that might be the case as well. We knew Lindelof wouldn't be on the bench. But Cavani comes back and a lot of attacking options with Cavani, Martial and Rashford. Midfield, Lingard, Mata, Matic, Van der Beek. I mean, realistically, there's only really one player that I can think that's going to get used there, and that's Matic. We've got to win the game with the first 11, to be frank. And am I confident? I don't know. Let's have a look at the West Ham team because I think West Ham is interesting. We knew that they had we're going to put the West Ham team up on the screen now, in fact. But the big thing for them was whether Souček would play. We've got the team, the United. Well, here's the West Ham team. It's just below me from the United Stand Twitter account. So Areola, bit of a tit. Kufel, Dawson, not Dawson. He's not foreign. Kufel, Dawson, Zuma, Cresswell. That's quite an interesting thing that Zuma's come back in because last week it was Diop, Cresswell. Rice and Souček is a big return for West Ham. Bowen, Fornells, Lanzini and Antonio. It's a strong team. And you know what? You could argue that their bench ain't too bad either. You know, Yarmolenko, Vlasic, Noble, Diop, Fredericks, Randolph. It's a difficult game for us today. Ronaldo's about to have a graveyard shift, says Red Devil TV. Let's bring on Gilmore from the United Stand. Better than Fred. Jokes apart, this is one of our biggest games this season, keeping in mind top four, says Cunnar. I think they're all going to be big games now. I think even Burnley, the next league game at Turf Moor, they're all big because there's no margin for error. Hi, Mark. Let's hope for a strong start. We can't keep having sloppy first half displays, says Taco. The good thing about West Ham is they don't tend to smash teams. And I know that could be a jinx. And I've said Declan Rice doesn't tend to play well against United. But the thing about West Ham is I think you're always in a game with West Ham. McTominay's a one-hit wonder. Donny should be starting over him. He's awful, says Wally. Well, look, McTominay played really well in the second half against Brentford. Consistency has been the key. Remember when he played well against Burnley, and then the next game, I think it was Wolves, he was absolutely trash. So we need to see some consistency. I hope Fred can have a good game today as well, because the last two, he's been crap. Rangnick sees something in Elanga, which is promising. And Pepe, you know what? I think that is something to dwell on in a positive sense, is that, you know, we're talking about Maguire coming back into the team. We're not talking about 19-year-old Anthony Elanga keeping out Marcus Rashford, who came off the bench and scored a goal. Now, you know, I don't want to hark back to the previous regime, but as you and I both know, the previous regime, Marcus Rashford scores a goal. He's back, Karaki. He's back. Get him in the team. Marcus, give us a hug. You're back in the team. I don't care about Anthony Elanga. You're Marcus Rashford. And that's what would have happened. So, look, I agree. There's some things that Rangnick has done recently that I don't agree with. But in the main, I'm still encouraged by some of the changes he's making. It's a work in progress. I wouldn't give him the full-time job, but I certainly think that we're in a better position with Rangnick in charge than we were with the previous manager. And hopefully we can continue to improve. Hammer's going to play us out of the park. We're going to lose the midfield battle again. Not confident at all, says Chiri. I do feel like there are people who are just a little bit negative about this game. Now, I'm either really thick, which some people have said before. I'm either really stupid or I'm not actually frightened about West Ham like some of you are. I don't think West Ham, I can't remember the last time West Ham played well against us. But what I would say is that we did play them at their place this season. And that was when David De Gea saved from Mark Noble. It seems a long, long time ago, but it actually was back in the autumn time at whatever West Ham's ground's called now. And they did put on a good show against us. And it was Lingard who scored late on. Ronaldo should have had 2 penalties. They did get a penalty. David De Gea saved it. And actually, that 3 points is actually very good when you consider where we are in the league. It's we really did need that result. So yeah, we Oh, London Stadium, it's called, says Zanab. Yeah, I think it's. I do respect West Ham, but as I've said before, I've seen West Ham play a lot against the big teams over the last 18 months. And look, this is not a fluke. West Ham have been a team that have been in and around the top four for 2 seasons now. But what they do tend to do is they go for it. They don't go for it. Sorry, they're the opposite of go for it. They tend to just sit back a bit against the big teams. Now, look, some might say that Manchester United actually play worse against teams that sit back against us, and it would be better if West Ham attacked us. But I don't know. I don't think they will. I think they will sit back. And as I said, I can't remember the last time. Well, I don't remember a time where Declan Rice has played well against us. I mean, I wouldn't mind Declan Rice coming to Manchester United, but he doesn't tend to play that well against us, and hopefully that will continue today. I think a lot of people, football evidence is key, and our midfield hasn't been that good this season, and West Ham's midfield of Souček and Rice has been very good. So I think that they could give us a game and they could win that midfield battle, and we do need to win the midfield battle. But I don't know, just something about this game, I just think we'll get the job done. I'm not expecting us to play well. I think at some point we might play well under Ranić. The longer he's here, you would hope the better we start to play, the more the system starts to bed in. But I've just got a feeling we're going to win today. I'm going to stick with 2-0. I hope with 4-3-3 we can get McTominay forward, says Harry Wright. Well, we can't get him forward if he's... We're not bloody Real Madrid playing, Mallorca. We're Manchester United playing West Ham in a top 4 race. We can't say to McTominay, do what you did on Wednesday night against Brentford. Just bomb forward all the time, because where's the cover? And that defence needs cover today. I think the game will be won and lost in the midfield, and I understand why people are saying Declan Rice and Souček against our midfield, they'll win the battle, but they might not. We might win the battle, and if we do, I think we'll win the game. But if we lose that midfield battle, they'll get at our back four. Tellez defensively and Dalot defensively are not that good. Even Ranić has said it. They're good. They're offensive fullbacks. They're not defensive fullbacks. Harry Maguire, God knows where his head's at. I mean, I think he looked really shaky. Some people wanted to blame him for the goal against Brentford. I don't think he was directly at fault, but he did look shaky on the goal. Varane's been superb these last few games, and David De Gea has. But it could be another game where David De Gea is man of the match. I'll be very surprised if West Ham don't create chances today. But I think we will win. I actually think we'll get a clean sheet. That sounds stupid, doesn't it? Hi, Mark. Would you go down? No, we don't read stuff like that. Bye-bye. Get rid of him. Get rid of him, mods. I don't understand why people do chats about sexual things. It just really exposes you as a bit of a weirdo. I'm desperately in need of some positive vibes, says Akshay. I hope the team gels well together and shows some good spirit. Let's go, says Akshay. And if Scott and Fred get forward, Maguire will get exposed, says Chira. Well, look, you know what? In relation to Harry Maguire, he's a Manchester United player. This is a game we need to win. I hope he has a cracking game. I hope he's man of the match. I always say that. I don't think he should have started. I think he's very lucky to be back in the team, but he's in the team and we need to win. And if he has a good game, that's great. Absolutely great. I personally think if you're not a fan of Maguire, you're going to end up right. I hope I'm wrong on this, but he's 29 next month. Well, right at the start of March, he's 29. He's only going to get slower, and he's always going to be vulnerable to people running at him and the ball over the top. And I think if you want to be a Manchester United side that competes with Liverpool and Man City, or even tries to compete with Liverpool and Man City, you need 2 centre-backs that are mobile, because it allows you to be on the front foot. People are saying, I hope Scott McTominay gets forward. I bloody don't, because I'm worried about Maguire getting stuck on his own. I want Tellez to get forward. Realistically, we probably need him to stay back a bit. Bowen's been brilliant recently as well. I hope with 4-4, I've done that one. Mark, when you say Rice doesn't play well against us, now I think he's going to score. That happened before, says Arjun. Well, but I can't lie, Arjun. I've got to be honest. So, yeah, I can't lie. I've never really seen him have a great game against us. Villa are beating Everton 1-0 away from home at the moment, by the way. I mean, just keep your eye on. I just want to have a quick look at the league table, because there it is, actually. Villa could not quite in that picture. I don't know whether Drawty can tell me where they are, but they're about to get 3 points. So we've got Leicester on 25 points. Obviously, a massive crushing loss for them. But they do have 2 games in hand in Leicester. So with how many points? So Villa would actually be in 10th place with 26 points if they hold on and beat Everton. I wouldn't say they're much of a threat to us, Villa, because we'd still be 9 points ahead of them. There is the one thing about that win against Brentford is it has just opened up a gap for the top 7 to 8th. Having said that, if we were to lose today and Wolves were to win 2 games, they'd actually go above us. But there does seem to be, as we predicted, the scene has been set. It's West Ham, Spurs, Arsenal, and Man United for that 4th spot. Obviously, if you go on a bad run, you might get dragged down into the race for 8th. But that's the enormity of this game, isn't it? This is it. Seb, you all right? I'm desperately in need of some positive vibes. I've done that one. Welcome to the members club as well. Liam Wrigley, thank you very much. Oh, can I just say as well, I obviously wear this a lot. It's our United Stand Last Dance hoodie. If you want to get one, we do ship them. They're worldwide. A lot of people like them. I don't really tell you where you can get them a lot, but I think we can go to United Stand Shopify and you'll find it on there. But on a lot of YouTube videos, I've noticed it's actually pinned. The actual hood, this actual hoodie is pinned there. So you can just click that, order it, ship it out worldwide, and you can get one as well. Probably one of our favorite ever bits of clothing we've done, actually. I really, really do like it, which is why I wear it so much. And I'm probably wearing it a lot for the moment because I'm just waiting for Ronaldo to score a goal so I can go swivel on it, you haters. Maybe today there will be that day. My girl and I are watching from Tampa, bro. Yanisi, we need a west of the hemisphere point of view on the show. Tom Brady says hi, says Cesar. Playoffs kicking off tonight. I'm loving my American football at the moment. I'm getting ready for my Super Bowl watch-along, which is coming up soon. So, yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on that. I think Tampa Bay is the most the Buccaneers game is the most palatable one in relation to kickoff time. I think it kicks off at sort of 8 o'clock or 7:30 or something, or 6:30 tomorrow night. So probably have that on while I'm doing the 8 o'clock show. Benjamin, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. If you want to click the join button and join the Members Club, you're more than welcome. Thank you for everybody. Please subscribe as well, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. The team sheet is already out, Adil, and it's the same team as Wednesday night, apart from Harry Maguire. Comes in for Victor Lindelof, who we know can't play. So Harry Maguire comes in for Victor Lindelof. Apart from that, it's the same team. It's David De Gea, it's Delo, it's Varane. Maguire obviously comes in. Tellez, McTominay, Fred and Bruno, and then Alanga, Ronaldo and Greenwood. Let's say you're the manager for today. What are the 3 changes that you'd make in today's lineup, says Karan? Well, I wouldn't make 3. So are you forcing me to make 3? I wouldn't make 3. I'd have played Phil Jones next to Varane. I think, ultimately, I think he deserves it. I can't change the fullbacks because there's no fullbacks available fit. I would have played Matic instead of Fred and put Matic as the holding midfielder and McTominay as the box-to-box player with Bruno. So 2 changes would have been Jones in for Maguire. I'd have put Matic at holding midfielder and I'd drop Fred. And then front 3, I'd have only made 2 changes, Karen, to be honest. I wouldn't have made any other changes based on what we've got on the bench. Some people might be surprised that I'm not starting Donny, but those days are gone. Donny needs to leave. Why is Ronaldo dropping so deep? Rania Constructions. I think it's frustration, Sir Nigel Farage. I don't think he's dropping deep out of instructions, to be honest with you. Hi, says Liam, who's been a member for 6 months. Thanks, Liam. Benjamin, thank you very much for becoming a member. And only has been a member for 21 months, and he says hi as well. Mark, you're better off supporting Green Bay. We have better beer in Wisconsin, says Joel. I'm not supporting, actually, you know what? I'm not really supporting anybody because I support Dallas Cowboys. So I'm gutted by that last play. But I love Tom Brady. So if I want Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl, not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for obvious reasons, but the team I'd like to win. And funnily enough, they can't both be in the Super Bowl anyway. So I'm hoping either Green Bay or Tom Brady are in the Super Bowl final and I'll support them. But they can't both be because they'll be playing the divisional final if they win this week, which will be, actually might do a watch along for that. I think that'll be a cracking game. Rodgers against Brady. But I do like, I don't watch American football during the season much. I might watch the odd highlight show, but as soon as the playoffs kick in, I do like it. Doughty says the Chiefs will win it. Mark, just a conspiracy theory. Maguire planned the robbery on Lindelof so he could get back in the team. Mike, that is not funny. And I'm telling you off for it. It's not funny. I heard a lot of people saying that yesterday. And Mike, you're not the only person who said it. So you're not the only villain. But at the end of the day, I get it. Some people like sick humor. But the reality is that's not what I don't like that sort of thing, because he's got a young kid and wife in a house being burgled by people who may have been tooled up. So, you know. Hi, Mark. Did you hear the story of Ralph wanting to get rid of Cavani, Pogba, and Martial? Any truth to that as they're bringing the locker room down? Ivan, I know Cavani wanted to leave, but he's decided he wants to stay. Martial does want to leave, so the mood could be brought down by that. Pogba, I don't think Pogba's in a bad mood. I think Pogba's in a great mood. You know, in the summer, he's going to be absolutely loaded and can go where he wants. I mean, imagine being a professional footballer and knowing that, you know, you're coming back into a team to play a bit of football. Doesn't really matter if you lose, because you're not going to be here next year. You're only playing for yourself, really, because it's about putting yourself in the shop window. And if you do well, then you will get to go to, you've got loads of different options. What's with this bottle throwing creeping into the game, says Sir Nigel Farage? I don't know what you're on about. I'd play Phil Jones next to Varane. He deserves it. Imagine hearing that a year plus ago, says Lucas. Mate, even when I was tweeting it last night, I felt like putting a disclaimer. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you know, it's not a sorry state of affairs. The reality is that Phil Jones has played better than Harry Maguire this season. I was thinking about this earlier on. There must be a good performance from Harry Maguire this season. There must have been, but I don't think there has. I think there's been a lot of bad performances and some okay performances, but there's not been good. Now, look, let's not pretend that between this time and May last year, he played really well. But we were playing a deep line. We were playing a back six. That was Harry the Hoover and Victor the Vacuum. And, you know, the fullbacks tuck in and McTominay and Fred stand in front of them. And we didn't, you know, people are getting so excited with McTominay because we're actually seeing him advance. Remember last season, he never went forward. He just sat back with Fred unless we played Leeds. So I don't think Maguire's had a good game this season. And I know he hasn't, because I remember when the season started, Maguire and Shaw weren't very good. And it was all about, is this the Euros hangover, which maybe it was. Then he got injured. Then he came back against Leicester, and it was probably his worst performance ever in his life. And he's not really got any better since then. So Maguire's not actually had a good performance this season. So, and today will be difficult because Antonio's a real handful. And, you know, maybe it's the perfect game for him, actually. I'm sure. Look, as well, what I would say about Harry Maguire is, and I'd say it about Marcus Rashford, I thought the goal that Rashford scored on Wednesday was brilliant, because it would just do wonders for his confidence. And yeah, he should still be on the bench, but it will do wonders for his confidence. Remember, both these players have been dropped, so you must give them the opportunity to see how they respond to being dropped. And, you know, maybe it'll be the making of Harry. Nick says, even if Maguire does play well, he's good on his level with a top centre-back playing average. The thing is, he does well on occasion, should be the absolute basics that any United can do without thinking, says Nick 97. Yeah, I'm not really understanding what you're talking about totally there, but I think what you're saying is that, yeah, even if he plays well, he's never going to be good enough. And that's the problem that I think many of us have with a lot of our players, that, you know, we hype them up because they play reasonably well, or they play well against Burnley or Brentford, and we go, oh, they're great, but they don't play well against Liverpool. They don't play well against Arsenal. They don't play well against the top half teams, do they? So I think that is the problem with the standards at United. You know, if Harry Maguire was man of the match today, everyone would start calling him, oh, sit down, haters, Maguire's back. And it's like, yeah, you sit down with your lowering standards bullshit, because this is the problem with United. We overhype one good result, and then the next game they're back to being crap again, and then people look stupid. Consistency seems to be a word that's disappeared from Manchester United, and I don't know why. We were talking about this 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, yeah, we can win for 3 months, but we can't do it for a whole season. We can't do it for 3 months now. Hi, Mark. Would you please sing a bit of I Would Do Anything for Love in tribute for the passing of the great Meatloaf? Come on, United. Mate, I would love to do that. And you've definitely dropped it in my head, Angel and Soul. But if I started singing I Will Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf, somebody will click it and go, look at Goldbridge taking the piss out of the dead. You know, and this is what happens to me. It's like the whole DT thing at the start of the week. I said it was totally bad and horrible what he did, but there's a victim in it. And I don't really, you know, I think people are just going on and on about it. Oh, Goldbridge is condoning what he did. No, I never said that. So I'm not singing I Would Do Anything for Love as much as I would love to. But I won't do that. The best thing I could see from Maguire today would be humility. I really don't want to see him barking and pointing like he's earned the right. Well, he will do, Ash, because he's the captain. Did you not hear his quotes from last night? So there's quotes from Maguire coming out saying that, we can't repeat what we did in the first half against Brentford. We talked to the lads at half time, and in the second half, they were a lot better. He wasn't even on the pitch. He was on the bench. So he's talking like he's the bloody manager, isn't he? So he really thinks he's running this football club, and probably is. What's your prediction? Callum says 2-0 to Manchester United. Do you see West Ham overloading the fullbacks as we have no one on the bench to swap in if either gets injured or yellows were buggered? I would do that, El Tinner, and it's a very, very intelligent, almost managerial assessment of a game, which I quite like. I've not done I've not coached for a couple of years now, but I do like those sort of things, and you're absolutely spot on. They're very managerial things. It's not really what fans would think about, really, and you don't need to. But he is right. We don't have any fullbacks on the bench. I would be looking to get the ball to the wing backs, to the wingers, and I would be looking to run at our fullbacks, because if they get booked, they've got to be careful, and then you can run at them all the time. And if so yeah, I would look to do that. Good point. I win today while thinking of the Kent era of the United stand while sipping a pint of paint is my perfect day away in Ohio, says Billy Welsh. I mean, Kent, another legend is born. If you know, you know. I would be okay having Maguire on the team when we don't have any other option other than Jones, but he should not be the captain, says United Voice. And with Soucek and Rice back, I don't see us winning the midfield, especially with McFred. Defensively, McFred are poor, but their good performances come from the number 8 position going forward. We badly need a CDM this January. You know what? If I'm absolutely honest, and I'm crying for this to happen anyway, Vinay, but I really think the way to win this game is to get crosses into the box. Now, people will say, well, Zuma and Dawson are good in the air. They are, but I just think we've got to get some decent crosses into the box. Interesting that West Ham's XG in their last game was 2.5. I presume that was the game against Leeds that they actually lost. Ours was 1.7. Mark, I don't think we can keep a clean sheet today, says Drew. I think we can. I do. I think I'm reasonably confident today, and I think we can win this. If you're not able to watch the game, what we tend to do is radio, so it will be on. And I think actually MUTV do it as well, but TalkSport, Radio 5 Live, these places. If you're in the UK, ridiculous situation in the UK where they don't put the game on for 3 o'clock. So you live outside the UK, you get to watch English clubs play. You live in England, you can't watch English clubs play. Ranić has put some quotes out. It's always good to have the captain back, and even more so as Victor isn't available, unfortunately. Good old Ranić. I wonder if he can read the room about Maguire, because it's also like he thinks he's winning points by telling everyone the captain's back and it's Maguire. Can you read the room, Ralph? Like, most people don't want him as captain. It's always good. He's also said that Ronaldo was training yesterday. The same with Cavani. Good to have them both back in the squad, which it is. So yeah, it is good to have him back in the squad. But yeah, as I said, Elanga for me is the big positive, and it's the right decision as well. I don't think well, I'll put it out to the chat. Does any of you think that he should have brought Rashford in? And I'd be very surprised if anybody did. But you know what? Let me just get rid of a couple of people in the chat there. Thank you. Okay. The laziest person thinks he's the hardest working person, and the hardest working person thinks he's the laziest. Fits United so well, says Jack. Wouldn't take the captaincy from Maguire, relieve him from that pressure, says Arjun. And I think Lindelof should have played, and that would have shown the criminals that the world is strong and no one can bring him down, says Andreas. I think that's a nice theory, Andreas, but we're not walking in those shoes, are we? We don't know. Look, I've witnessed these things from the job that I used to do when I was in the police, and especially in relation to burglary. It's a violation. It's a weird crime, because even if you're not in the house and somebody's broken into your house, it's so personal, and it really can damage people. And you don't know the situation, but in the worst case scenario, his wife might be so traumatized that she can't be apart from Victor at the moment. Like she just feels vulnerable and scared. Well, and she doesn't want to be around other people. So, you can't go and stay overnight in a hotel and be away because that's what United do. Like they were in a hotel last night. So, I get what you're saying, and I know it's coming from a good place, but in reality, the right decision has been made. I really want to be positive, but I remember you telling me, but knowing the inconsistency of this team and the fact that we don't have a DM, I won't have any expectations, just hope. Look, back on the football, if we don't win this game with top four, I don't think we're going to get top four anyway. I'm waiting for the miracle. We can get top four. I'm not saying we're definitely not. It's a prediction. And, I don't think we're going to get top four because I don't think we deserve it. But I'm waiting for the miracle of when we do deserve it. What a win for Aston Villa, by the way. They've just won at Goodison Park 1-0 against Everton. Do you remember the video where Ferdinand said that Sir Alex used to drill everyone to pass to Van Persie because he's going to win us the league? It's a shame we can't do that with Ronaldo, says Hanif. And it's 41 degrees in South Africa. All I want is a win. What's your take on the leaks of Maguire, Shaw, Warren Wan-Bissaka not being good enough? No, I don't agree with it, Ronaldo. I think it's a load of crap. I think there's a lot of nonsense leaks out there at the moment. So I don't agree with that. Aston Villa have just won, says Turbo Gaming. Zakaria deal with Juventus to Turin is on. I don't know whether that's true. It'd be embarrassing for United if it is. I mean, as soon as Juventus moved in for Zakaria, or were rumoured to be going in for Zakaria, I did worry because they just have this habit of being very good at picking up players that are out of contract. But I don't know whether there's any truth in that. I'm just having a quick look around now. Good win for Villa. Very good win for Villa. They're coming from a long way back. They are coming from a long way back. But I can't see this thing about Zakaria. I'll just have a quick search. Liverpool and Bayern Munich are front runners to sign Zakaria. That's from Liverpool Echo. No, I don't think it's coming from Romano or anything like that. So, no. So I don't think there's anything in that. But look, as we said yesterday, Manchester United seem to be in a position where they're drifting away from that deal. But look, in relation to that, I think next week is going to be hopefully the time. Simon Stone here with a quote. Let's have a look at this underneath me. At Brentford, it was fantastic to see 3 young academy forwards all doing well. And he references Anthony Elanga there. Has taken his chance very well, while the talent of Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford is there for all to see. Yeah. And it seems to me that Rangnick came into the club and I instantly identified that Elanga was the player that he really liked, and he threw him straight in. I'm a little bit surprised about Ahmad. I know for a fact that Ahmad performs very, very well in training, but obviously he's not quite getting those chances at the moment. So, wouldn't mind seeing Varane as captain, says Rowan Watson. Okay. And hi, Mark. Do you remember the video? We've done that one as well, haven't we? Yeah, don't throw this there. So let's talk to you. How are you feeling about this game? I've given you my opinion. I basically think it will, not groundbreakingly, but obviously, I think that the midfield will have a huge part in how this game goes. I think that I think we'll win. I just think we'll win 2-0. If I'm honest, I'm going to go Man United 2-0. Time to burst some bubbles with this and our game in hand, and we are 3 points off third. Well, remember we're playing. Yeah, I want a bit of that banter. Very Liquid FC. That's what they are. If you know, you know. They drink pints of fairy liquid and cough before kickoff. That's why all the bubbles happen at the London Stadium or whatever they call it. Good luck with Manscaped, but this time of year, I need the jungle to keep the coconuts and the tree warm, says Lucas. What is it with people in these weird super chats? Bagel FC forever, it seems, says Bon. Ronaldo will score. I really hope Ronaldo scores today. It'd be great. We've got Levin. I can see him. He's ready to go. Ronaldo hat-trick tonight, says Rishav. Every time you're confident, we lose. Well, I'm going for the hat-trick, Manash, and I'm going to call you out here. I've been waiting for you all stream, and I've seen you in the chat, and I've called you out, Manash, and now you're going to get both barrels. I'm only joking. I've never noticed Manash before, if I'm honest. But he did say I'm jinxing it. Let me just remember. Predicted a draw against Villa. Oh, what happened? A draw. Predicted a win against Brentford. Oh, what happened? A win. Predicts a win against West Ham. Going for that trip. So we'll see. So I don't jinx results. I have in the past, but under Ranić, I've been pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm laggy.
Levin, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. Am I on camera? Can people see me?
I can see you. Yeah.
Right.
Mick says, with Maguire at the back, we'll concede. He's a terrible defender. Well, I suppose that's a good place to start, Levin. What's your thoughts on the team? Maguire back in as captain. Obviously, we know Lindelof couldn't play, so I suppose it was a straight choice between Maguire and Phil Jones. Do you feel that Ralph's gone with the right decision there, bringing him back as captain?
I'll be completely real for one. I've not seen the team. I was helping out my mum, and I've literally just come to my computer now, so I've not seen the team. But with Maguire back, that was expected with everything that happened with Lindelof.
I can't believe it. Lingard's playing. Donny's playing. No. It's the same team as Wednesday with Maguire in for Lindelof.
Yeah, I didn't expect many changes, to be fair. I think most people deserve to keep their place in the team. Of course, with what happened with Lindelof, he wasn't going to be in the squad. And I know a lot of people are, people who don't like Maguire going, oh my God, we'll get Maguire out. He's the worst defender in the world. It's a bit hyperbolistic. It's a bit over the top. Like, Maguire's not been great this season. That's a fact. Nobody would deny that. But, to sit here and go like he's the worst defender ever with this game is an instant loss if he's in the back line. It's a bit over the top. Let's hope he has a good performance. I think what people need to understand is ultimately, whether you like Maguire or not, and I'm not trying to convince you to like Maguire, I don't care enough to, but he's going to be here at this team, right? He's not going anywhere. So best case scenario for you and me is we get the best version of Maguire possible. So instead of us sitting here going, he's rubbish, get him out and just abusing him or, whatever, bringing him down, let's just hope he has a good game. Like, it doesn't hurt us if he has a good game. If anything, we need him to have a good game because the likes of Antonio, very physical up front. West Ham like to play it long. They win their aerial duels, similar to what Brentford did. And so we need Maguire to have a good game. We need him winning duels because that's something we struggled with in the first half against Brentford.
I totally agree, mate. I do. I would have gone with Phil Jones personally, but I wasn't surprised by him going with Harry Maguire. But I said it before he came on about 10 minutes ago. We're Manchester United. He's playing for Manchester United. If he has a bad game, we lose this game. And what point's been proved? Like, we need to win. We need to win. We need to see the best of Harry Maguire. And also, even if he has a bad game, Levin, I agree with what you're saying there. Selling him is not an option. He's an £80 million player on £200,000 a week. I think the whole world knows he's at least 30 million over value. We can't. Well, no, maybe not at least, but like he's probably more like a £55 million centre.
I don't think that was too harsh. I think like you could argue 50 million, 40 to 50 million should have been what someone paid for him. Yeah,
we're never going to sell him. He's the captain of the club. The only solution really is he starts playing well. I suppose the question is, he's 29 next month. He's not going to get any quicker. Can he do it? And can you play? Well, we'll find out today.
For me, the big thing is like, I don't expect Maguire to become, the best centre-back in the world anytime soon, but I've seen Maguire have good games at centre-back. People try to deny that he's ever been good for us, which isn't true because a lot of those same people were gutted when he got injured before the Europa League final. So I've seen him have good games for us, for England, for Leicester. Hopefully he can get back to a decent level because you're right, he's not been that this season. He hasn't been at that level. But even beyond Maguire, this game's going to be a tight game, Mark. This game's going to be a tight game. I don't see anything, tactically between the teams that really puts one above the other. I think a lot of it, which is funny because this has been the theme for us most of the season is that battle in the midfield, the battle aerially, the duels, just winning second balls, winning your duels one-on-one is so important because, you know, both teams have the quality to punish.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting game. I don't know how you're feeling about it. I mean, I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm quite confident that we'll win, but I think it'll be a tight game. I think it will come down to the midfield. But it's a difficult one to call, isn't it? Because I think some fans are like, we're not going to win this. Not because I'm being negative, but West Ham pretty much play the same team most weeks when they can. They're well drilled. They're playing good football. And this United side, yeah, Elanga's playing and it's great. But Ronaldo's not playing particularly well. McTominay and Fred, you never know what you're going to get. Tellez and Delo, defensively, you just don't know. We've spoken about Maguire. You can see why some people are concerned about this. I just think maybe we're starting to get that momentum you spoke about. I think I was on Wednesday night that with every passing week, we should start to see an improvement under Ranić.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to just when it comes to the basics that, you know, I've spoken about a lot in terms of even just like basic passing, right? And getting that right and getting that crisp and getting that to a level where, you know, you're not really struggling, because ultimately I think this game will come down to us having attempts at trying to break down their low block, them having attempts at trying to break down our low block, and it's going to be about who executes better. The reality is, as much as Ralph did make tactical tweaks in the second half against Brentford, the difference maker in that game was just execution. A lot of the stuff that we did in that second half was stuff that we tried to do in the first half, but we were just off. Passes were off, players weren't on the same page, but once the execution was better, you see we can score 3 goals just like that. So right from the kickoff, our execution has to be there. Like, we can't go into the halftime with Ralph and whoever having to shout at the players going, guys, make a pass. You know, we can't have that.
And that's an interesting thing as well, because I'll bring that in because a couple of people mentioned in the chat earlier that, you know, we can't be half a team FC, and that has crept in even under Ralph. I mean, I think about the Norwich game, and you know, that was just poor in general. Newcastle was poor in general. Burnley, we played half. I think we'd scored 3 in the first half there. I don't think we scored in the second half. Wolves was poor. Villa was good in the first half and then faded. Brentford was poor in the first half and then got better. It still seems to be, and the interesting thing is that it's over the Ollie era and now into the Ranić era, which obviously puts that on the players. Why do you think it is that we can't play 90 minutes? You know, you get that team talk. Come on, lads, you know, every dressing room cliche. You go out there motivated, knowing your job, and then they don't deliver. And then sometimes in the second half, they get it again and they do deliver. They don't seem to be able to do a 90-minute performance.
I think that's the golden question. I think anybody that has the answers to that question would instantly get a job at United right now, because I think they are looking for that answer. I think a big part of it is down to just the combination of players we have together. I think we have a lot of talented players, sure, but we don't have a lot of players who are technically secure, players who, you know, you can rely on them to just do well with the ball. People call them technicians, right? Like we don't have a lot of those kind of guys, even though we do have very talented players. And I think that's why there almost has to be like a conscious effort to be a bit more measured, you know, a conscious effort to take care of the ball better. With some of the players, I just don't think it comes like that naturally, and they can be a bit careless with it. But no, that is the golden question, honestly. We need to find a way to play 90 minutes. Football's not played in just 45 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I you know what, if I was answering it, I probably would have said something similar. I think that we don't have a player that, because no team plays for 90 minutes. And if you watch Liverpool or Man City, they'll have phases where they don't kill the game, because they might do it in the 20th minute, but they'll have 5 minutes where they just go, right, the opposition ain't going to score, but we're just going to keep the ball and slow it down for a bit, because, you know, you can't run around for 90 minutes. And I think where Man City can do that, maybe Chelsea can do that, Liverpool can do that, Manchester United, we don't have the player that can, you know, just for 5 minutes, get hold of the ball in that midfield and, you know, just take the sting out of the game for a little bit. You know, McTominay, Fred, whatever you think about them, whether you think they're good or bad, they don't hang around on the ball, do they? They want to move it on, and maybe that's because they're pressured to do that. Maybe they're aware of the criticism that they get. We remind me of England in the sense that we're just not a very good possession team unless we're trying to go somewhere. And Bruno epitomises that as well. You know, he's not very good at just keeping possession. He'll get the ball and go, shit, I'm going to try and do a 40-yard pass through to Greenwood.
Yeah, and I think that's important, because I don't think it is just McFred who's not great at that. Like, we have a lot of players all over the pitch who aren't that, right? Like, Rashford has shown countless times in recent
Greenwood as
games
well,
that
he'll
he's
put in
not
and
that.
take a shot, won't he? Rather than just knocking it back to Delo and let's keep possession.
You know what I mean? So, you know, we have a lot of players who aren't that, and that can be a problem. But like we said, we've seen that they can do it at times. A lot of them can do it. I think a big thing that will be important in this game as well, when it comes to the transitions, right? Because counter-attacking, I think, is going to be a big thing for both teams. And against Brentford, we struggled in the first half because when they had counter-attacks, it was just McTominay sitting alone in that hole. And one player alone, you know, no matter who it is, even if it's Kante, they're going to struggle. And in the second half, we had Fred playing a bit more supportive in that sense, and also two of them there. West Ham, very similar, where it's like they have Rice and Souček, right? So there's more protection there for counter-attacking situations. And so if we start off the way we did in the first half, where it's just like McTominay isolated, that could be an issue early on in the game. So hopefully Ralph's made that sort of adjustment.
In relation to West Ham, I've said myself, I've never really, you know, I'm a big fan of Declan Rice, but I've never seen him, and I don't want to jinx it, but, you know, I've got to say it. I've never seen him have a great game against Manchester United. I think West Ham, when they play us, certainly at Old Trafford, they tend to sit in. How do you think West Ham will approach this game? Because if they've watched us against Villa and against Brentford and against Wolves and the way they play, there is an argument to say that they should come here with the intention of trying to win the game. Whereas I think maybe last season they come with the intention of not losing the game. How do you think that Moyes will see that? Do you think it's a game he'll try to win, or do you think it's a game where he'll try to, you know, exploit our attack and, you know, keep it tight?
They can win this game. They have, you know, top outlets in Antonio, Bowen. You know, they will try to beat us with physicality. Like I said earlier, they play long. They like to take on people in aerial duels because they know they can win them, especially against us. They'll probably be confident in that sense, similar to how Brentford were. So yeah, like, they're going to come out and play how they play. Like, they're not, you know, there's no misunderstanding what they are. They're not like a high pressing team, right? They do like to sit in a block, but their block is very compact. It's hard to break them down. I think they'll just stick to how they've been playing most of the season, and it's been effective for them. So I wouldn't expect them to change.
And in relation to the team, did you? Look, the great thing is, and I'm going to mention it, even though I didn't need to mention it, is that we're not talking about just justice for Donny. I've not seen it once in the chat. Is there any change that you think maybe he could have made, or do you think it's just about, you know, let's just put the same team out that we did against Brentford? Because what I wasn't thinking Donny, I was actually thinking McTominay did so well driving forward. It's not normal for a number 6 to do that. It can be problematic. So what I'd said is, well, look, Matic played well for an hour against Villa. I probably would have played Matic to support and help Maguire, because Maguire's going to probably get exploited, and then allowed McTominay a little bit more freedom, because McTominay will come back anyway, but then he has got the freedom to get forward. But on the other hand, why would you change a winning team?
But the problem with that is, and I've seen some people say that, but that doesn't make sense. If you're playing against a team who you know specifically is going to try to beat you in transition, why would you want to put the one midfielder, although he's great and I like Matic, why would you put the one midfielder who is the weakest in transition purely because he doesn't have the legs? Like, and then we'd end up in a situation where early on in the game, Matic would get beat and like you just can't catch up with whoever the runner is, and people would be going, why have you played Matic? He's too old, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? So as much as I get that, and I get, you know, because we do want to see McTominay with more freedom to go forward, but Matic in this game, you know, there's more chance he gets killed than he does have like a positive impact, sadly, just at this stage in his career, innit?
No, I can see that. I mean, personally, the reason I would have done it, Matic drops in between Varane and Maguire, allows your fullbacks to go forward and gives McTominay more license to get forward. You're definitely going to get more mobility with McTominay and Fred. I just don't. I think McTominay played so well second half, but I just don't think he's a number 6. And I think we saw that certainly in the first half. It was like he hides between that line of taking the ball off the back four, and that's all well and good if Maguire's going to make forward runs. But look, I've got no problem with that. I think you're absolutely spot on with the mobility issue. But I think Matic is the specialist CDM, so we'll see. We'll see. It will come down to the midfield, though. I mean, how good do you think Souček and Rice are? I mean, comparable to our midfield that's been beaten a lot this season in midfield battles. Do you really think it's a case of well, Rice and Souček are going to dominate our midfield, because it doesn't always work out like that.
Yeah, but Rice and Souček are really good, and they work well in tandem. And I think that's usually the one example people give. Like, you know, when people like always going, McTominay and Fred, so many midfielders in the Premier League would beat us. Like, the one that people use is always like Rice and Souček, right? So, I think today will be a perfect example. Look, I've said it multiple times, and some people don't want to hear it, but I've seen Rice play in person, and he dominates games. Like, he controls games. Even when you said earlier, you don't think you've not seen him play particularly well against United. I think that game against West Ham, the game against them at the London Stadium, he was really good. I felt he was just orchestrating everything.
Yeah, but I've seen Declan Rice, and he's like clearly the best player on the pitch. Just against United, I've never seen him, and it surprises me, because our midfield gets so much criticism. I've seen midfielders dominators, and I haven't seen him do that. But maybe that's because the way they play, because Moyes tends to sit in against us. So it's very difficult to dominate a side when your tactic is to sit in and hit on a break. One interesting thing about Declan Rice, I think, is that, and I saw somebody saying this the other day, and I think they might be onto something, really, because I know what he wants. I know what he's like, and I know what he wants to do and where he wants to go, certainly in relation to Chelsea. His game might change. He's still very young. He's not just necessarily going to be a holding midfielder all his life. He himself has very good attributes in relation to driving forward with the ball.
Yeah, and that's actually something that's happened with him this season at West Ham, where you can see Moyes has given him more of a responsibility to roam forward and sort of be a character, almost playing like an 8, right, at times. And it's weird, because I think that actually happens a lot, not just with Rice. Like, I think a lot of people who come up and look like maybe good number 6s or single pivots, when they are as good as Rice has been, or like when they show that they are actually really prominent footballers technically and whatever, they often get like pushed forward and encouraged to like become like ball carriers and drive forward. But look, either way, I think he'll be great at whatever role. Hopefully he is more of a 6, because I think, the game needs, more good 6s.
Yeah,
we clearly should. We need one, so.
We certainly do. I was going to ask you about that anyway. I mean, look, we don't know whether United are going to buy a midfielder this week, but this is a game that really a lot of people are saying hinges. Well, not hinges, but it's certainly a massive game in the race for top 4. Where do you see Manchester United at the moment? We've seen 2 reasonably good results against Brentford and Villa away from home. Now we've got the home game. If we win this, we'd actually go above West Ham, and we'd still have a game in hand. They've got 37, we've got 35 at the moment. Do you feel that improvement's going to happen with the squad that we've got, that we can compete for top 4, or do you still have concerns?
I still have my concerns. I still want to see us against a team who is just technically supreme all over the pitch. Like, against the better teams, what's going to happen against us? Because at least with the teams who we're competing with for top 4, I know how they play against better teams, and they are effective. They've shown they can beat better teams. Whereas us, under Rangnick, we haven't necessarily shown that yet. I do think we're still like in like a transition period. Like, Rangnick, his approach clearly is like a short-term one in terms of like just trying to get the best results now, and not necessarily thinking long-term. Because I think if he was thinking long-term, he wouldn't speak the way he does about like Pogba and certain other players, where he's like, yeah, I'll use them if I need to, right? So clearly he has his mind set on getting us top 4, right? That's clearly what's been asked of him. But I just don't think it's likely. It's still possible, right? It's not impossible. And I know people think, oh, you're being negative, but like, right now, I'm yet to be proven that we are really in that running.
Yeah, and I think some people want you to analyze a game like, Harry Potter, where you're predicting the bloody future. It's like, well, the one thing I always say is, what do you want me to say about top 4? We're in January. I'd look on who deserves it. Well, obviously Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool deserve it because they're in the top 3. 4th place is difficult because there's so many games in hand. You can't just say West Ham deserve it because they're 4th. But I don't think United deserve it. It's hard to say that we don't deserve it as much as West Ham or Spurs or Arsenal until we play them. But right here, right now, I just don't think we're playing well enough. But to offer some positivity, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, the longer Rangnick's there, the more accustomed to his style of play these players should become. And therefore, you would hope that the results will improve, and that's the thing we've got to sort of cling on to in that quest to get top 4. Because I don't think the Champions League's realistic if that's the way people think we're going to qualify.
No, look, ask Beth, ask some people. They'll tell you that Champions League is our only true hope now, isn't it? So you never know.
There's some good midfields in the Champions League, though. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, maybe an understatement, right? I think right now we just got to go game by game, and that's all Rangnick's gonna do. And I think he's shown that, you know, in the way he sort of changed like tactical approach game by game. I think he's actually just shown like straight up, like I am just going game by game. Even when he talked about, you know, I think Carl Anker in the press conference asked him like, "Oh, are you gonna start playing the back 3 more often at times?" And he said like, "Yeah, that could be a possibility, but we need time to train it," right? So clearly he still feels he needs more time to train and get certain things in with the players. And so he is just sort of tactically trying to tweak things to give us an advantage game by game.
What do you think his long-term vision is for this team? Do you think he's just that sort of coach that's going to go with what's available and who's in form? Or do you think long-term he's thinking, look, Alanga's doing really well at the moment, but I've got to get Rashford in at some point. You know, Greenwood's doing well. I've got to get Sancho in at some point. Or do you think he's, you know, looking at this 11 today and going, look, you know, if they play well, and I'll keep picking them?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't think he has a long-term approach. I genuinely do think he is thinking very short-term, and maybe that, and I think that might be for the best, right? Like, you know, you look at Xavi at Barcelona right now, they're having a whole situation, Dembele, and Xavi, you can tell he's thinking long-term because he's basically saying, look, Dembele, if you're not going to commit, you can go. Like, I'm not going to use you, right? And, you know, he has the luxury of doing that because he's going to be there long-term, so he's going to focus on the long-term players. Rangnick, on the other hand, is going, Pogba, yeah, he's out, but I could be out. So I'll use you for as long as you're here, right? And get the best out of you because I just have to focus on what we do in the next couple of months. And obviously the situations are a bit different between players, but, you know, the same sort of concepts are there where I do think Rangnick is just thinking short term. I don't think he's thinking, oh, Elanga could be the future, so let me just encourage him. I think he's thinking, Elanga plays for me now, and I need that, so I'm going to play Elanga now.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Paul Pogba because I do think Paul Pogba is really interesting. We've got a couple of minutes just before the match starts, so I will bring Pogba in here. So sorry, everybody. He will be fit by the time we play our next league game. I think we play Middlesbrough in the Cup in 2 weeks last night. Then we've got Burnley, so Pogba will be back. Looking at that team and the shape he's sort of settled on at the moment, do you think Paul Pogba walks straight back into that team? And do you think he would just take the Fred position and he'd leave McTominay there? Or do we go back to this Fred runs around everywhere and you can't take him out of the team because of that intensity that he brings?
No, I don't think he'd walk back into the team. Maybe he would, depending on what's going on at the time in terms of our form. But I think if he was going to put him in the midfield, I don't think he'd swap him with Fred. I think it'd either be Bruno or Pogba, just to keep some sort of defensive balance there. But I don't know. I think Pogba shown before he got injured. I think he's finally proved and shown people he's not a pivot player. Like, we need to just give up on that dream of Pogba being a pivot player in this team. He's not that. He's basically like an attacker at this point, right? We're either going to play him off the left in some capacity, or maybe now that we're playing a 3-man midfield, you can play him in there with 2 other players who will do more defensive work.
It'd be nice. I mean, look, we won't have the holding midfielders to do it, and then Pogba will probably be gone in the summer. But it would, you know, what I would like to have seen, and it might not have worked. Look, you could get imbalanced. Bruno and Pogba would have to work as well as getting the freedom to attack. But if you had a Fabinho at 6 and then you had Bruno and Pogba, that's your sort of dream scenario in your midfield. Obviously, Pogba and Bruno wouldn't just have license to attack. They'd have to get involved. But we just don't have that number 6 that can. That can create that situation, unfortunately. But because people, I've heard people go Van der Beek, Pogba, and Bruno in the past, and you're just like, nah, that's not going to work.
That's FIFA territory, man. Yeah. But even then, like, you need more than just a good number 6, then, because at the end of the day, Pogba and Bruno, like, defensively, they've both shown that they are very weak, and so even with a good number 6, you're gonna have the same exact problem we had against Brentford in the first half, where you might have a good number 6, but they're going to get overran, right? Because they have too much to deal with on their own. So,
and it's also about defensive lines, isn't it? Because if you put a number 6 there and then you've got Pogba and Bruno and the pitch is very big, there's massive space between your attack and your defence, as we saw against Leicester. If you've got 2 centre-backs like Varane and Van Dijk, who are being told to play on the halfway line. Well, you're defending between the edge of their penalty box and the halfway line. It's much more compact for Pogba and Bruno. They haven't got to move around as much. So can you play that high line with Harry Maguire in the team? So look, I think Rangnick, we know, and you'd know more than me, Levin, I think Rangnick likes to play the high line. I think he likes to play two. I think he likes to compact and push up high up the pitch. But the thing is, and we spoke about this when Rangnick came in, and he said when Levin came in, he will have his ideals, but he will also look at a squad and go, right, maybe the way I want to play is not going to work, and get the best out of it, which is what we've seen in the last couple of games.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what he's done. Like, I think every manager, as much as managers have their own ideals and their styles, a lot of managers will come into a situation and go, okay, maybe I want to play this way, but we have to work towards that. For now, let's play this way because it's going to get the best out of the players I have. It's mad that I'm using this as an example now, but you look at Arteta, the way Arteta is playing now with Arsenal, it's more similar to clearly how he's always wanted to play. Yeah. But at times he had to sacrifice that and play different ways.
He was playing to get the best out of it.
Yeah, like everything. He had to play to get the best out of the players he had at the time. And I think Rangnick is sort of doing that, where in certain areas he's sacrificing maybe what his own footballing, ideals and personality are, just to get the best out of what we have right now.
And I think you're right. I think Arteta's a great point, because I remember talking to Arsenal fans and saying, look, there is no way Arteta has spent however many years as an assistant coach to Pep to get his first job and park the bus and hit on the brake. He's clearly doing it because the players that he's got to get results. And here we are with Rangnick, and people are going, I don't like this style of football because, hold on a minute, he's trying to get results with the players that he's got.
Yeah, 100%.
How do you think the game's going to go, Levin? I don't want an exact score prediction, but some people feel that the draw is the obvious choice. Some people think West Ham are going to beat us. People like myself, I just got this feeling we'll get the job done today. I feel like some of our fans have just been a bit over negative. I think we'll get a positive result.
I think it'll be pretty even between most sides across the 90. I'd pay a big attention early on in the game to who's winning duels, right? When either team plays it long, who's winning the aerial duel, who in the midfield's getting beat, who's not getting beat, who physically who's the most dominant. Jordy, man, keep it clean, man. What's that? Jordy's in. Oh, okay.
He's back now. He's back.
I thought you were saying something else. Is my audio's good now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm fine. All right, cool. Oh, all right, mate. Yeah. I think it is just down to who is winning the second balls, right? Like that kind of thing. Just pay attention to that earlier in the game, and I think that will just sort of telegraph who's going to have more control as the game moves on.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's one of those games I looked at over Christmas and thought that's going to be a big game, and so it's come to pass. We do need. I mean, just final word, Levin. We do actually need to win it. I mean, a draw would not be the end of the world, but I said this the other day. When you're competing against somebody and you draw, and people go, "That's not a bad result." I'd say it is a bad result. It's not like tantrum bad result, but we're at home against the team that we're fighting for fourth. You've got to win that, haven't you? You've got to take. If you want that fourth, you've got to take the home result.
And I think that's going to be very telling, right? Because we are at home ultimately, and the fact that even this game is projecting to be very even when we're at home, I think it's very telling of where we are right now as a club. But hopefully we can get a result. 3 points is all that really matters. We'll be here with the fan forum after as well. I'm looking forward to it. See you guys all there.
Cheers, Levin. Always a pleasure. And I'll speak to you in a bit, pal.
All right. See you guys later.
The match is just about to start. Actually, I will tell you so we can get a timer up on the screen. But I do agree with Levin there that ultimately it is, people would worry about West Ham and they're coming with a chance, but this is the team that's okay. So it's just started now. Okay. So effectively, we play poorly against Brentford, we play poorly against Wolves, we play poorly against Norwich, we play poorly against Newcastle, and then people start saying things like, "Oh, we're not as good as we should be," this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, there has to be a progression, doesn't there? There does. Let us know how you feel the game's going as well. Obviously, quite a lot of people probably won't be able to watch this game today, so they'll be listening on the radio or they'll just be involved in the chat. So let us know how you think it's going to go. A lot of United fans are saying that they feel that this game will be difficult. I certainly agree with that. A lot of United fans think we're going to lose or get dominated. I'm not so sure about that. One interesting thing early on, I've just seen someone in the chat mention it as well, is that the midfield three is slightly different. We have been playing with McTominay as the holding player, Bruno as the left-sided 8, and Fred as the right-sided 8. In the first few seconds, United have gone McTominay as the holding midfielder with Fred to the left and Bruno to the right. And I'm just wondering if that is to give defensive support from Fred, who's the more defensive number 8, to Telles and Maguire. And you know what I'm on about? Compensation. Always looking to compensate, especially with Bowen down that right-hand side. We've definitely switched our 8s. So that's number one thing to notice. The 8s have swapped. Streaming from Oz at 2 a.m. Give us an Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Channel E, thank you very much. Maguire should be sitting on the bench as Mark Doherty. The thing about Stadium SAP is they should stop allowing sale of chewable tobaccos. Okay, says Jans. Okay. We keep getting mentions about chewable tobacco. I'm not really too sure whether I'm missing the joke or the severity of this question, but there you go. Sadiq says that McTominay's not a holding midfielder. Chris says, come on, Manchester United. I'm just going to have a quick stretch here. Didn't get enough stretches in the start of that. But I miss Valencia. So good at driving down the wing with strength and always fast getting back, says CB. I will start warning you when I'm going to stand up in the future. Oh. Well, no matter who's on the pitch, let's back them all, says Pepe Laugh. Well, I think every United fan would agree with you on that. We need to win. 100% need to win today. Don't press at all, says B Cost. Well, it's interesting, isn't it, what Paul Ince said on Thursday, that, one of the first things Sir Alex Ferguson used to say to them in any game is that, at Old Trafford, get the crowd going, get the crowd on your side. And we don't necessarily do that. Declan Rice is on an amazingly good run there, but it doesn't come to nothing. And United are so bad at that. And I'm actually going to write that down for the match reaction. Apparently Garner got man of the match for Forest today, and they won. Don't know whether that's true. I just had a message from someone. United got a break on here. Bruno feeds it into Greenwood. He gets a bit of a chance. And he should have passed to Ronaldo. Bloody hell. That's not a good start, is it? Unbelievable. It's getting a bit silly, really. The shot's just not on. And Ronaldo's in absolute acres. It's that's silly. It's getting silly now, that is. It really is. You can't just, I love Greenwood. He's a generational talent. He really is. I believe that. But in that situation, he's got to pass it to Ronaldo, and he shoots when he's got two defenders in front of him, really close to him. It's a simple pass to Ronaldo. I'm not saying Ronaldo's going to score, but because there's another defender quite close. But it's just terrible, really. Is Valencia a cult hero at United? He's not a legend, Salvagini. I hate Maguire starting today, says JJ. Well, look, let's just enjoy the game. My problem with Maguire is not how good or bad he is, but how his limitations constrain our tactical options, says Marcus. Well, I tell you what's good about this game to start off with, and I don't know whether many people have noticed this. What's good about this game to start off with is that United have had a chance there, although Greenwood should have passed, from a break, which means West Ham are going to play on the front foot, which means Moyes fancies his chances. Now, I think that United struggle when a team sits back against us. So if West Ham are going to open up a bit, that means that, our goals against Brentford came from breakaways as well. So that might be a bit of a positive. Time is a little bit fast, actually. I'd go 5:35. About 7 seconds. Yeah. We will be, but there'll be loads of people all over the place. This is not on the UK TV today, so radio stations, whatever, you're going to get delays. So if you are fortunate enough to be watching it abroad, you're probably going to be ahead of some people by as much as it might be 10 seconds, might be bloody 10 minutes. You never know. We struggle against well-organised teams that attack us, says Mark Dobby. West Ham on the attack here with Bowen and Maguire, I think, made a good tackle there. Harry's back, says Albert. Bobby Moore-esque. How ironic. It's quite an open game, says Ricardo, which is good to see. And Maguire's just made a good tackle, so now everyone will say he's world-class again. That's how United fans work. Sibster, I'm sorry, but you're blocked, mate. I'm bored. I'm bored of it. I'm bored of people talking about who's ahead and who's behind and this, that, and the other. You either engage your brain or piss off. Simple as that. Because I've just explained to you what the situation is. People are going to be all over the place because it's not on in the UK, and people will be on different channels, different radio stations. There won't be synergy. So you either sync in with us, which is why we put a timer on there, or button it. Moderators, you've got every right to block and get rid of twats in the chat, because ultimately there's a lot of people who won't be able to watch this game today who will be reading the chat for updates on the game. Zayn Miasi, I don't know what that means, Zayn. It's not a bit harsh, Tom. It happens every bloody game. Don't have to be here. The sync is with the comment, is underneath the West Ham thing. It's on the screen, so you can sync in with that. Do you get the sense that Greenwood just doesn't like playing with Ronaldo? Darryl, I think that's an interesting point. I don't know. United got a free kick. Where do you think Greenwood does it? Send intentionally not paying even as a score. I don't know what that means. Oh, God. Please try and read your sentences before you put them out. Yeah, Daggum, you're blocked as well. Thanks. And Greenwood's talent might be unquestionable, but his football intelligence definitely is. Well, we've had the same problem with Rashford. Fantastic player, but never developed. And I spoke about this last night. Development of players is so important, and they're raw. Greenwood's a raw generational talent, in my opinion. Marcus Rashford's a raw talent, but we don't develop the player to learn to look up and play a pass or play the cross when you need to play the cross. So Ronaldo's free kick went into the wall. I feel Maguire is going to have a good game just to prove a point, as Christopher. Well, he should have a bloody good game. He should have a good game. He's been dropped. He's a Manchester United player. He should respond. If he can't, you should demand Maguire has a good game. It shouldn't be a surprise. You shouldn't be bloody hashtag Harry the GOAT tonight just because he has a good game. He's on 200 grand a week. He's an 80 million pound centre-back. He's the captain of the club. He's playing West Ham at home. He should have a good game. It shouldn't be a surprise if he has a good game. He should have a good game. Another corner we didn't score from. Our corners are shit, Mustafa. They really are. Please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome. United Stand. We'll be doing player ratings in the second half for the match reaction, and we've got a fan forum. Massive game in the Premier League here today. Manchester United will need to win. I feel like Greenwood should be passing more, says MT. He should, but I like Greenwood. Doesn't mean I can't get frustrated with him when he doesn't pass. He should be passing more, but for me, it's development. Rashford's got this problem as well. But if you know what, fans aren't stupid. If Greenwood doesn't pass, he'll start to get jeered. It will happen. I've seen it with Giggs. Which one? Go on, just tell me, Mia. Ronaldo was doing the same things at Mason's age. Everyone needs to relax. Go on, tell me. Yeah. Go on, just tell me. Okay. Yeah. Serious question. Do players care, see what goes on with the board, or do they just put the shirt, collect check, and say, I play for Man United? Serious question. Do players care, see what goes on with the board? I think some of them do and some of them don't, is the honest answer. You know, same with United fans. Some people just, you know, look out for the United score. Cristiano is fuming with Greenwood's greediness. You can literally see him begging for the pass. That's what happens when using a striker as a winger, says Mario. It's not a surprise, is it, mate? It's been a problem for a while. But I think United have started off reasonably well in this first 10 minutes. It's quite an equal game, and it's certainly not defence against attack, which is what we don't want. See again, McTominay not coming for the ball off the back four, so Ronaldo having to come deep, which I don't like. Maybe there's something in that. Maybe it's not just frustration that's causing Ronaldo to drop deep. Maybe he's being told to do it. Maguire's normal game should be better than most since he's the captain, says Bradley. I've said this before as well. You know, if you're captain of Manchester United, you've got to be able to walk off that pitch and know that you're one of the best players on the pitch every single game. And look, whether it's Harry Maguire or any captain of the last 10 years, that's been a big problem for us. We haven't had that, and it's problematic. Ronaldo, our striker at 36, has created more chances for goals this season than our wingers, yet the media keep talking about his selfishness, says Doel. I'd love to know how many assists Greenwood and Rashford have got this season, actually. It's a very open game. Nobody's controlling it, says captain. But that's a benefit to us, because a lot of people think we'll lose this midfield battle. So bring the Pratt clan down under, says Channel-E. We love you in Oz. Yeah, I do want to go to Australia, actually. I'm thinking... Who? Yeah, he has, yeah. How amazing was Elanga's interview? Great, the guy, and attitude. Did not see like media and training. You may have spoken about it, but what was your thoughts, as David Mills? I haven't really listened to Elanga's interview yet, but he started off well in this game. Looking to just pass to Ronaldo. That's a good start for a winger. Even Ted Lasso taught Jamie Tart to play the extra pass. Crazy, a TV show about someone that was hired to destroy a club has such similarities with us, says Sean Atwood. Ronaldo gets a shot off and it's blocked. No top coach would allow Greenwood to roam around. Well, Antonio's away now, and Maguire as well. Roam around without passing. We let this boys go around with coaches saying anything. Tuchel subbed, says Sam Emmanuel. I'm actually going to tweet Maguire started off well. One assist for Mason Greenwood this season. That's appalling for a winger. So apparently Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford have got one assist each this season. It's not good enough, is it? But they're wide forwards. That's what they are. Wide forwards. So, you know, selfish wingers, I suppose. Elanga puts the cross in, cleared away. So, encouraging first 15 minutes here. There's certainly nothing to really worry about in relation to West Ham so far. United have been as good as they have, and no real clear-cut chances for either. See, where's McTominay here? He's the number 6. He's nowhere near. I don't like McTominay at 6 bombing forward all the time, because it will get caught out. Greenwood now whips a cross in. Not very good, but at least it was a cross. I just think Mason Greenwood should play down the middle. I don't think he's a winger, and I think that's the problem. And, you know, part of my defence of Greenwood is that if you put him up front, you don't want him to start passing all the time. You want him to shoot. But on the wing, you do. And it's like... Yeah, I agree with you, John. I think he should be playing down the middle. And AP says he's a number 9. Reasonable start by United here. Lance says that it wasn't even a good tackle by Maguire. Antonio overruns the ball. Yeah, I've seen. I think there's a good point here from. I can't remember who said it. What's up with all these blind crosses? Says Dev. There is a few crosses going in today, but they're not looking at it. They're not. They're just they're whipping them in. They're not looking at the runs or where they're putting the cross. You know, we can't say, oh, there's been loads of crosses today. Ronaldo should have scored a goal. There's not been a cross yet that's gone in that's looked any good. We need Proctor. He would be good off that right-hand side. He'd definitely put a cross in. The problem with our fan base is most of our fans would give Maguire a lower rating than Bruno just for this match. Favourites FG just for this match. I don't know what you're talking about, Malav. We've had 15 minutes of a game. What are you talking about? How can you give anybody a player rating after 15 minutes? Sancho's had personal issues, hasn't he? Hope Maguire can keep it up. He's had a good start and we need quality crosses, not sloppy, quick crosses to Stuart Walker. Yeah, we need some quality. Mark, it's my birthday and there is nothing I would love more than a United win today, says Jacob. Well, let's hope that they can deliver it, Jacob. 70% possession in the last 10 minutes for United. Well, that'll please Rangnick. Green says that Rice is absolutely playing us. I think Rice has had a good start to the game, actually, but I don't feel that they've got hold of the midfield like some people expected. I actually thought this would be a bit of a ding-dong in the midfield. And so it's come to pass. How do I think Delo's doing? I don't think it really matters. I think he's doing well, but I don't, you know, him and Tellez at the moment, we need them to do well. It's not about them starting ahead of Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, is it? I mean, you know, you can have that debate when those two are fit, but we need them to do well. Sarah says there's a bit more of a higher intensity from Manchester United, which is nice to see. I just like to see Bruno. Where are you going? Okay, but where's Mum? And why's she gone out of the steel? We want Dancing with Goldbridge. Looks like we're struggling to get control, says Roos. You can see Ronaldo's disdain for Greenwood at times, says Leo Rourke. And Alanga is keeping up his game, says Mikael. I definitely think there's a more intense start from Manchester United here. I think I like, you know, the thing for me about Alanga is I think he brings some balance to the team, because if you've got Rashford and Greenwood off the right, you know you've got two wingers who want to put a... Oh, what a cross by Bruno. Oh, I don't know how Ronaldo doesn't get on the end of this. Would you ever consider going bold, Mark? No. Juicy, thank you. I don't know. Well, reason Rashford and Greenwood haven't developed is because they are played out of position because of their pace. They will end up like Walcott, says Quindarius. What are we thinking on that cross then? Do you think it was just a little bit ahead of Ronaldo? I think he should have got on that. Just a little bit. The chat saying just a little bit ahead of him. United always struggle for 1+ shots on target in the first half. Why, says Channel? I don't think there's a problem with United here. It's been a very quick 20 minutes, and I think United have done quite well. A little too much pace for Ronaldo, says Vignesh. I don't think Cavani would have got on it at all. Cavani's not quicker over 2 yards than Ronaldo. He's timed his run perfection. He's just not got it. I think to get the header, you'd probably have to be offside. Ronaldo into Elanga. Cross comes in, reasonable cross, and Greenwood gets on the end of it. Good cross. That was Delo, actually. That's what I want to see, more crosses from Manchester United. It's something that we've been really bad at this season, and the more crosses we can get in, the better. It's a good cross as well. It's an equal game. I think Just Vibe says it's an equal game. I actually think that Man United have started off a bit better. West Ham haven't really done anything for about 10 minutes, have they? There's a good intensity from United. Ronaldo / Greenwood is a lot like Van Nistelrooy and Ronaldo in 06. It's Heisenberg. Fred's looking good, says Mintberry. I haven't really noticed that, to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I haven't really noticed that Fred's been that good, but I don't think he's been bad. But Mark, most of our games less than 2+ shots on target in the first half. Why, says Chanley? I don't know. Since McTominay often plays with Fred, does that add to the Scooby-Doo law? I don't know, Costa. We're trying to talk about a football match. I don't know where these chats are coming from today. There's been some really shit ones. Man United not good enough with their chances, says Ralph. I think I'm getting COVID. My nose just won't stop running. It's out of the blue. Andre says he's jinxed Ronaldo. I think United have been good in the last 10 minutes. I'm not doing a COVID test live, Alf. Paul says that Elanga's man of the match so far. Harry started fantastic. Oh my God, Jenks. You're an old school member of this community as well. What is wrong with you? You need a bloody COVID test talking shit like that. Harry started fantastic. He made a tackle where Antonio overran the ball, and he tackled Bowen in the box. He's made 2 tackles. Is that your level now at United, that Maguire's not cost us a goal, so therefore he's fantastic? This is the problem with some modern football fans. They'll be calling somebody absolutely shit, then they won't make a mistake, and then they're suddenly world class. So it's like, take your time on things. Consistency is the big problem at United, and I think our fan base contributes to it sometimes because they over-egg the pudding on individual performances. If you don't notice Fred, he's having a good game by his standards, says Cormac. Yeah, I agree with that, Cormac. I think if we're not noticing him, he can't be doing anything wrong. The difference of class between Varane and Maguire is unreal. One's a racing hound and one's a donkey, says Shane. Hey, Mark, please can you call my mate Jack, Mr. No, I'm not going to do that because it means they're fat happy. Big news coming out of Africa's final World Cup round. Egypt, Senegal, Salah versus Mane. One of them's not going to the Qatar World Cup. Is that how it works? Hey? Don't know that. Sean says, I think we've started quite well. Bruno's playing well. Looks like he's been given a free role in the midfield, not just as a number 10, says Sean Turner. Well, he should still have the discipline as a number 8. Alf Raider, welcome to the members club. No. No matter if we win today or not, there is a culture of me, myself, and I at our club, the dressing room, players on media instead of homing skills, says Stu. Why can't our coaches see that when we have ball, McTominay hides behind the opposition player, says Straven. Hi, Mark. I'm having a rough time with COVID myself. A win today would at least put a smile on my face, thanks to the dedication to United News, says Harrison. We'll get roll soon, Harrison. Hope you're doing well. Maguire's managed this game brilliantly, says Adam. Well, Tellez clears well there. I don't think West Ham have played that well. If it's Ollie in disguise, fantastic, says MV Pete. Oh my God! Somebody in the chat just said Maguire with another header. So basically, Maguire was on the edge of his box with no one near him, and he headed it up in the air. Is that now what we're calling good defending? He fucking headed the ball. Oh, despair! I despair. Lewis, thank you very much for joining the members club. Well, look, we're approaching half an hour in this game. It's been a reasonable start by Manchester United, but the thing is, it's 0-0. You know, we've got to build on these reasonable starts into goals. You've hardly had time to comment on the game with all these super chats, says IQ. And Mark, Maguire slows down our build-up so much. Notice how he always takes 2 or 3 touches before releasing the pass, unlike others, says Mister. Well, I don't think West Ham have settled in this game. So Manchester United need to take advantage of that. Maguire is going first to win headers while Varane is the spare man. You've pointed it out earlier. Ralph is finally using Maguire the right way. And I think that's a great thing, Rowan. I really do. Bruno's just up on the attack on his own here. He needs a bit of support and he loses it. Is Ronaldo and maybe De Gea only 2 United players that can get into Arsenal team based on form? Are you pissed? Unknown person. I mean, I think you're overhyping Arsenal here. Have you forgotten about Varane for a start? What makes you think you've got way better than players than us? Arsenal, God. They get into a top 4 race and they think they're winning the Champions League. Don't see how the club expect the players to take inspiration from their captain. He's not a winner in average, which feeds down to the rest of the players, says Nick. Passing the ball left and right doesn't help create the overload in the opponent's half to create chances, says Mott. Yeah, we've gone a little bit flat in the last few minutes. I thought we were having a good start. And as we approach half an hour, it's gone a little bit flat from United here. The press has been reasonable. And West Ham have struggled to pass through it. Maguire actually doing his job, says Nate. I think this is a great comment by B. Cost. He says United have been good, but not threatening. And again, Ronaldo is telling Maguire to control the ball rather than head it clear and lose possession. Is he, Hashir? It certainly looks more like a team performance, says David Mills. And I think that's the only hope we're going to have of getting defensive work by Bruno on Cresswell there. He's done really well and goes for a goal kick. Good play by Bruno. No saves from De Gea yet, says Sam. Another good comment as well. We've had half an hour and De Gea's not been tested yet. So I think the emphasis on team performance is important. We're not creating many chances, but there is a good work team ethic, and that's always good to see. Free kick on Greenwood there. I don't. Mickey says remove Alanga and put Martial on. What for? Maguire's headers are annoying the hell out of me, unnecessary, and always heads it aimlessly, says Gergo. Why ask these prats at the stadium wearing their mask around their chin? Might as well take it off at that point, where it collects real, not at all, says Michael. All right. And I don't think we have to wear masks for much longer anyway. It's going to stop soon. Okay, I feel the game's gone a little bit flat. We were doing all right, and now it's gone a little bit flat. Rumour has it Maldini and Beckenbauer both agree that this half from Maguire is the best defensive performance of all time. How many fouls, Antonio? Demi, thank you very much for the joining the members club. Appreciate that. Vihan says the game feels a bit boring. Delo defensive work has gone up levels recently, says Connor. And Delo seems much more balanced than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Two good comments there from Tarek about Delo. Well, you might disagree with them, but two positive comments about Delo. If I'm honest, I sense there is a good team ethic in the defence and the midfield in relation to their work, but I don't think there's a chemistry in the attack. It feels like three individuals in the attack. I mean, obviously, Alanga's very young, so it's hard to judge him. But I just don't think there's much. I don't feel like there's much fluidity in that attack. Start playing with intensity should be on the absolute bare minimum. Praising that is just the same as praising Maguire for making a simple header, says Shuddy. And love Bruno, but he seems to be a little less disciplined with his passing this match, says Abranel. Hatim says Rice has been a bit quiet. I tell you, Declan Rice never really has a good game against United. I'm not saying he's had bad games, but he's not a player that you massively notice. And I don't think if you're a West Ham fan, you'd be panicking, but it's certainly got that feel of to win it, you might have to score a goal on the break and then keep a clean sheet. They're not at this moment in time really imposing themselves. Bad pass by Fred there. There was a good opportunity of an overload on the right-hand side. Maguire, okay, I'm not reading that. Okay, thank you very much. Is Declan Rice the answer for Manchester United? Well, he's a holding midfielder and he's much better than anything we've got. So he would be the answer for United. But is it the more pertinent question is he the £80 million answer? Let's be honest, I don't think we've been crap, but we've been not good either. West Ham have been poor, so kind of hard to judge, says Ed B. And Scotty is hiding again and doesn't want the ball off the back four, says Kimber. Look, he played really well in the second half against Brentford, and he might end up having a good game here, but it's been demonstrated by more tactically people than me that he hides when the back four have got the ball. He always positions himself behind the attacker so he can't receive it. Mark, I feel like this, the longer the match stays draw, it favours West Ham. We giving Harry the Ballon d'Or for actually defending, says Nate H. I think it's, I wouldn't take any notice of the Harry Maguire comments. I'm just treating it as the banter that it is in the chat. He's not actually done anything. He's made 2 tackles that Varane's done. He's just done his job, which I suppose is an improvement. He's done okay. He's not playing well. I don't think any United player's really gone beyond sort of average performance so far. Support from America. Thanks, Goldbridge, says Phil. We sort of need to build on the fact that we're the team on top. It's hard to explain if you're not watching it. I wouldn't say we're dominating with chances, but we are the better team without turning it into chances, which I sort of agree does play into the hands of West Ham, who have been a bit poor. There are times when Fred doesn't know when to press. He just holds back and becomes very passive. Bit of a penalty shout here. Not going to get given, though, is it? SS11. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. Zuma goes into the back of Ronaldo after a long ball. People saying it's happening again because he should have had 2 penalties at the West Ham game, but I don't think everybody really thinks it's a penalty. There's a few people saying it is a penalty. I'd have to see it to say whether it was, but Basuma is a much better all-round player than Rice. Anyone who picks him is going to get a real gem. Hot water, please. Mike Mates, thank you very much. Maguire's only good defensive attribute is heading. How low have our standards dropped? He's been average, says Luke Darling. Let's not getting into the arguments about Maguire. He's not made a mistake. Ronaldo's not happy. He's speaking to the ref and the ref saying no. I mean, the referee is that one who looks like he needs to... No, I'm not going to say it. I don't rate him. Moss, that's his name. He looks like he should have retired 20 years ago. We need a midfielder with higher football IQ. McFred are not consistent with their decision-making, unfortunately, says Lee YS. Unrelated question, but do you think players should be banned from using social media to avoid receiving mental abuse from fans, says Mr. Armstrong. And do you think we can get third? I think we can if we win our games in hands, as SS11. Look, for Man United to get fourth or third, the miracle needs to happen. And the miracle is United playing well and creating chances. Today, I think we've been quite well organised and we've not conceded chances. But, you know, David De Gea's not had a save to make, so that's good. You know what? I think that could have been a penalty, by the way. He's a bit late into the back of Ronaldo, and I'm surprised that VAR didn't actually get him to have a look at that. Wolves, Brentford game stopped and players taken off the field due to random drone flying over the field. That's a first for me, says Haydar. It was always going to happen. And Desert Wolf says, all the clueless kids screaming a penalty. You don't really get penalties for stuff like that anymore, though. The reason why Maguire is playing well is because he's in a stopper role, which suits him, and Varane plays well as a sweeper, says Daniel Shabar. Is there any ref you like, Mark, says Mikel? The ones I don't know the names of, basically. That's always been... I remember my granddad saying to me when I was a kid. He said, if you don't know the referee's name and you don't notice them, they've probably had a good game. If you know their name, it means they're crap. And it's true. You shouldn't notice a ref. But yeah, I mean, what I would say about United is that it's hard to know what our quality is, because this is a team in West Ham that want to get top four. So if we were to beat them, you'd have to say we've got a chance of getting top four. But I don't really know. Again, I think if we would play, it's difficult, because I'd say to you, if we were playing Liverpool or Man City, they'd be 2 or 3-0 up by now. Well, they might not be 2 or 3-0 up, but they'd be dominating the game. But we're not looking to finish above Liverpool or Man City. We're looking to finish in fourth, aren't we? So Dalot's been impressive. Yeah, I'd say Dalot's probably been the best player on the pitch, to be honest, Kay. I don't think the game has been a... Ronaldo's miles offside there. I don't think the game has been a vintage performance from United. I think we've been on top, but not enough chances created, which is a shame. Well, I just put a tweet out there. I mean, I think we've been the better side, but when you look at it, why have we not created chances? And I think it's a lack of creativity. Fred's not a creative player. Greenwood's not a creative player. Alanga's still very young. So you end up in a situation where it's really got to be Bruno's got to produce something, or it's got to be a moment of individuality, hasn't it? There's not enough creativity on that pitch. And I know I was talking about this with Levin before, but this is why, for me, do you want to be a team that's grinding out results, or do you want to be a team that's winning games? And I think, if we had a holding midfielder with Paul Pogba and Bruno, at least you've got 2 players with creativity there. I just don't think there's enough creativity. Jadon Sancho on the right playing at his best as well. It's another there's just not enough creativity for me. Lovely run by Bowen, and he didn't give a free kick there, which was a surprise. Boring United with tunnel vision players with no creativity. My God, Donny should be starting. Well, I forgot about Donny, young maestro. I think we need to forget about Donny. Our right back has been our best. What does that say about our attacks? As Channel E. I mean, the thing is, we've had a lot of the ball. I don't know what the possession stats are, if anyone's got it, but we've had a lot of the ball, but we've not. Shots on target's probably not that good, is it? And I don't feel like West Ham have really had to would really be concerned. The Geoghegan press has been good today. Full control of the game. Maguire man of the match. Says CM. Mate, I don't know what game you're playing on FIFA. I really don't. You're talking like we're being entertained. And Maguire's not man of the match. You can't give him man of the match for doing his fucking job, mate. The low is man of the match if you want one. Bruno's too deep to be effective, says Mike Burnham. I think, you know what, though? This is the balance, isn't it? The positives for me are that I feel that we've controlled the game possession-wise, but we've not created anything. So are we controlling the game from deep too much? Which is the balance, isn't it? And Ranić talks about these balances all the time. Interception by Fred does well there. Ranić talks about this all the time. You know, we're not conceding goals, but are we scoring enough goals? There's been a lot of energy in this performance from Manchester United, but it's not like the Palace game where I think we went in at 0-0 at half time, didn't we? I mean, it was like, how is it 0-0? But we're not creating enough chances in this half for the control we've had of the game. Delo really putting in a shift. Looks like a great right back. So happy Rashford is getting dropped. Might fix his inflated, undeserved ego, says Ollie Roach. I can see him coming on in this game. I think he'll take Elanga off after about an hour, 70 minutes. Probably wrong, but Ronaldo looks devoid of confidence, says Ash G. Just living on scraps again. I mean, that cross from Bruno was nearly perfect, but was just a little bit ahead of him. So we're nearly at half time here. Rick James says Delo seems to be the only one trying to take on players and create something. Greenwood is disappointing, just tunnel vision player. Well, there's a bit of something going on in the final third here. No free kick, though. You know what I think it is? I figured it out. I think we're a little bit too defensive. There's not really, the way we're playing, you'd expect West Ham to have more. I've figured it out. I've figured it out. So there's no, West Ham never looked like catching us on the break. And I think the reason for that is that, well done, McTominay, is that we're playing probably a little bit deep. We've probably been a little bit conservative. Probably need to go a little bit on the front foot, but then maybe leave gaps at the back. Mitch, thank you very much for becoming a member. So it is half time. Right on half time, it is half time, which is what normally happens. United 0, West Ham 0, and look, I'd say that probably summed it up at the end of the game there myself. It's a half where United have controlled the ball and the press has been very effective. It's been a very hard-working performance from Manchester United, but it's almost like we're the away side. We're not really using the home advantage to commit numbers forward. Bruno's playing very, very deep. McTominay's playing deep. Fred's playing very deep. The defensive line is dropping deep as well, which leaves you with a very isolated front three who aren't really getting a lot of the ball. It's you could easily see this game being a 1-0 win to United. I mean, the danger is it could go 1-0 the other way if we're not too careful. It's the challenge that Rangnick's got now is that we've got control of the game, but we're not creating chances. Are you willing to risk control of the game to try and create more chances? With the home team, I think you have to. I think if we could nick a goal, if Ronaldo gets that penalty and we score it, you'd fancy us to comfortably win because we're controlled defensively. We're looking very solid. De Gea has done nothing in 45 minutes, but then neither's Areola. I don't think either goalkeeper has had a save to make. So it's an interesting one. Is it progression? Well, depends what you like. It is progression with a better team, but we're not really creating anything. No shots on target for either side. And we've had 5 shots to their 1, but there's nothing on target. So that means the shots are irrelevant. 55% possession feels a little bit like we've had more than that. But I think what we're seeing here is the development of progression, whereby Rangnick is getting the team to work better as a team, and I think the defence and the midfield have worked well, but there's not really much connection with the attack. Rashford has had too much influence in Greenwood's development. He tries to run through 4 players like Rashford. That's on Ollie, who put Rashi on a pedestal, says Spencer. I don't think we're playing particularly badly, but the football looks so mediocre, Mark. I don't know what we'll ever achieve playing like this, says Julian. Well, hopefully it's just small steps. No saves for David De Gea is a step forward, isn't it? But I agree with Luke Darling. We've been playing too deep. Need to push people up the pitch and flood the final third. I know you always blame midfield on strikers' performances, but Ronaldo needs to do better. He's off the pace. Well, Aram, you know what, Aram? I appreciate your comment, and I'm sure some people will agree with you. But I'm going to say something, you might not like it. I feel you're just coming from a place of you don't like Ronaldo, because I just don't think you're watching the game. I don't think Ronaldo is getting any service again. So how... I don't mind people being criticised, but there's nothing going on in the attack. We're not committing players forward. We're not creating chances. We've had no shots on goal. So what is? How do you watch a game of football? Is what I'm saying. Do you think if we take Ronaldo on and we bring Haaland on, we're going to create chances? We're not. We've got control of that game in a defensive way, but we've got no control in the game in an offensive way. The balance is more about defence than attack in that half, which is why we've not conceded any chances. But normally, think about Brentford and Villa, we did concede chances. So there's an imbalance, and it's affecting our attack. It's a bit of a graveyard shift. We know why the defence are playing long balls, because McFred don't give them an option. They go hiding, never want the ball off the defence, as Sean Turner. Every single player that arrives at United since 2014 is a victim of the curse, says Andre. Scott is 100% more effective when passing forward. I wish he could see that, says Mike. And well, look, McTominay's game today isn't bad, but it isn't nowhere near what it was against Brentford. Why is that? Because he can't make the runs forward. He's playing against a decent midfield where he has to stay in position, and we're seeing more of a McTominay performance under Ollie than we had been under Rangnick, which is why I want McTominay to play at 8. And I know Levin disagreed with me, saying that we can't play Matic in a game like this. We could definitely play Matic in a game like this because we're not pushing people forward. Like there's always a player close by. I think Matic in the team at 6 and McTominay as an 8 would be a better option in this game. Ronaldo needs aerial service. We cannot cross. People laugh at me, but we should get the ball to Fred in the wide areas, says Garbagio. And also, typical Ollie first half boring. Give it to Mikey, says. Look, I think I see progression from Manchester United, but it's defensive progression, it's shape progression, it's pressing progression. West Ham can't get at us. So I think we're doing things right. And if it's a journey to getting other things right, then, from where we were probably 3 weeks ago, we're in a better place on that 45 minutes. West Ham are a good team, and they've done nothing. So I can see the positives in that half, but from an attacking point of view, I think we've given up any attacking impetus to make sure that we're well organised defensively. We can't hold on to the ball because we don't have enough quality in the midfield. We need better quality to dictate the play, says Vincent. All I can say is at least De Gea isn't man of the match, says Sajish. We have controlled the ball well and kept a high line with the ball. Someone please remove Fred from this team. We have been playing a stray passes, says Deng. Coach can't explain or players don't want to hear it, says Channel. And it worries me how it seems there is no relationship, no mutual support, no team spirit across our front line. Big reason why we drop off in games, says Samuel. And Van der Beek must come on for Fred. Quite painful to watch Fred, says JB Park. I don't think anyone is less than 6 average, but we need an 8 to win this game. Dave, I think can I just say, I need a stretch anyway, just to warn Draughty, but I do need a stretch. But I just want to clap Dave there because he's absolutely spot on. I think for a performance, nobody is playing badly, but nobody's playing well. And everybody's a 6, apart from maybe Delo's a 7. So nobody's played badly. There's nobody I want to go, you're crap. But nobody's gone beyond average. And I think that's the problem. And I think the other problem is, how have we controlled the game, Mark, but not created chances? Because we haven't got any creativity. I think everybody's done their defensive job really well. Everybody. We've pressed, we've kept them in their own half. They've not been able to get into our penalty box. So defensive side of things, everybody's done well. I don't think nobody's done bad. Creativity, we lack it. I just feel Bruno is playing deep and obviously he has to play deep if we're going to stop West Ham creating anything. But I feel in that team, if Bruno doesn't create something, we're not going to score a goal because Greenwood's just got his head down all the time. Alanga's not really getting much of the ball. Ronaldo's reliant on service. Fred's creativity isn't great. I know he's got 2 assists, but he's not great. And McTominay's playing very, very deep. So there's no creativity. For me, I would like to take Fred off and bring on, well, we haven't got Pogba, but, we need another creative. Or I would like to take one of the wingers off and bring Sancho on, but we haven't got Sancho. We're lacking creativity is the problem. I don't get how he doesn't bring Donny on. Honestly, it's like every coach that comes here is like Stevie Wonder on the touchline, says Dirty Flo. And Maguire playing again on the defensive line is much deeper. No coincidence, says Arjun. Well, we've got to play a little bit deeper, haven't we? How can people say we're playing Ollie ball when we were giving up 2 or 3 goals a game? Fair point, well made, Oz. Fair point, well made. I think overall we're playing well. I think we need attack more centrally, says Vanilla. And Greenwood is non-existent, says Save the Jungle. Well, there's that one moment. I'm going to have to pop to the toilet in a minute, Draughty, so get ready. He's warming up. I can hear him in my ear. He's doing la, 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 la. Knock-on effect from back to front. Defence is decent, but too deep because of Harry. Rest of the team are forced back as well. Look, I know there was a lot of banter about Maguire in the first half. He's done okay. He's been average. He's done no worse than anybody else on the pitch, and that's absolutely fine. He's not having a world-class game. It's just people being silly. But he's done okay. So I don't think that's the reason that we're not doing well. Man United could even finish second, Mark. No chance. You've got to win games, mate. We won't finish in the top 4 if we don't win games. Imagine this game finishes 0-0. It's a bad result. My concern about this at half-time is that first half, that's 0-0. What are we now? Celebrating controlling the game, FC. We need to win. If West Ham score in that, if the first half goes like the second half goes like the first half, and they score a lucky goal, are we all going to sit there and go, well, we controlled the game? Got to create something. We need to win this game. Just before I quickly pop to the toilet and Draughty talks to you, though, there was moments in the first half. Greenwood, again, this is the problem with Rashford and Greenwood, development. He got his head down. He wants to shoot. There's 2 defenders in front of him. The shot's not on. There's a pass to Ronaldo in the box. He's got no intention of even seeing it, let alone passing it. That is the problem. Right, I'll be back in a mo.
Okay, some super chats then. So first one in from Swap Neil. Control of the ball is something we have not had for a while. The attackers are not on the same wavelength. Runs are not being spotted or R2. Or R2? Or maybe they are. 1 to 2 touches can open up a tight game, which is missing. Needs some changes. I think at the moment, having watched that first half, personally, I feel both teams didn't really create anything anyway. It feels like one of those games right now that's going to finish 0-0, which doesn't really help us in the table. If I actually bring up the league table right now, just pause it there. West Ham, obviously, they played a game more than us and 2 points ahead in the table. We win this one, that we leapfrogged them. We won't go into 4th, obviously. Oh, wait, no, we would. But obviously, there's other games going on. I don't know what the other scores are around at the Premier League at the moment. But right now, it definitely feels like a 0-0 kind of game. We're just creating nothing up top. And Ronaldo, again, graveyard shift. Save the Jungle says Greenwood is non-existent. He's just quiet like the rest of the attackers. When you've got nothing in the midfield, they've got nothing to feed off of. So that's very, very difficult. Let's have a look at a few others. There's one about Donny. From Dirty Flow. I don't get how he doesn't bring Donny on. Honestly, it's like every coach that comes here, it's like Stevie Wonder on the touchline. Donny's got to be doing something in training that the coaches don't like. Either the players aren't warming to him and he's not part of the clique, or he's just really not doing something that the coaching staff want to see. Because every time he's come on the pitch, he's done really, really well, but then you kind of go, well, why hasn't he actually come back into the fold? He's clearly one of our more technical and creative players. But as soon as Pogba comes back from injury, obviously Pogba's going to jump straight back in. So if Donny can't nail down a position now, he's got no chance when Pogba comes back. And if Pogba does leave in the summer, you're going to have to assume that United will go for another midfielder. So
I like that toilet break, Goldbridge back shortly thing.
Yeah.
Should have done that years ago.
Yeah, well, I was going to say what you were doing exactly, like whether it was a 1 or a 2, but it's just conjecture. So
I definitely wouldn't go for a number 2.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes you take a bit longer.
I'm just not in a rush. Take your time. It's been that sort of a half, isn't it? Really, that sort of we're not in a rush. Progression will come next season. Somebody said there. I don't know whether you read that one. That'll be interesting. But look, we need to win this game. I think that it's a bit of a. It's a weird off. In no way am I negative. I just think that I could see another 45 minutes like that, and then West Ham get a good point. And you play 90 minutes, and at the end of 90 minutes, you get a result. And it's all right saying we've controlled the game and we've kept West Ham at bay, but we're not Burnley at home to West Ham. We're Manchester United, and if West Ham come out, if the second half's like the first half and West Ham get a point, it's a really good point for West Ham, and it's a bad point for us. So we do need to build on it, and we do need to go and get something more in the second half, and hopefully we can. We've certainly got the possession to do it. I just think we might need a little bit more creativity. Brentford Wolves off because of drone on the pitch, says Ivan Whelan. Really? Could they not just start it up again? Is that true? That's silly. That's very, very silly. Do I think he'll make any subs at half time? No, don't be stupid. He won't. Very organised first half, says Slip Inside. Minor adjustments and we can close off this match. Very sync flow, but not in the final third. Yeah, I agree. I think the defence and the midfield have defended really well, and there's been a good flow there. Possession, we've not been great in getting up to the edge of their box, but I do think the positive for me is if we can get the goal, they don't look like they've got anything in them from what we've seen so far. So, and you would hope that they would commit players and we can hit them on the break. So Brentford Wolves is not off. They're still playing. I think. Yeah, they are still playing. They've just got 13 minutes of stoppage time. So, still going on. There are other games today, actually. Leeds are 0-0 with Newcastle at half-time, and obviously Brentford Wolves is 0-0. Villa beat Everton 1-0. And there was actually a lunchtime game, and Forest did beat Derby 2-1.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to interject 2 seconds. I was talking while you were in the toilet. This is the only opportunity at the moment United can get into top 4. We win this game, we are in the top 4 because none of the other teams below are playing. So,
So, that opportunity is there, and I think we need to take it. Mark Dodson, thanks for becoming a member. Hold on a minute. We need another Glazer out movement, says Canna. And this is the perfect match for Donny. He surely must come on, says Najid. Might just need you to talk a minute, Drawty, because for some reason, my laptop is on a low battery. One moment.
Okay. We'll just go back to some of your comments. Let's bring in this one. 2 seconds. We've got a new system, so it takes a little while to get them on screen. And I'm eating cheese on toast again. We need to improve our passing, cross abilities, and players' position awareness. Do you think we made any progress since Ralph took charge of the team? Very, very good question. And you kind of need to think back to when we were playing under Ollie in the style of
I'm back
football.
now. It wasn't plugged in.
All I was saying, it was a good question here about have we made any progress, with passing under Ralph? I would say not so much in the midfield, but then I think we're kind of bereft of talent at the moment. I think you'd agree with that as well. Without Donny or a creative Pogba, something like that, Bruno's always very, very high up the pitch. So if you've got Fred and McTominay, there's no creativity for the forward line to work off of. And it's not like we got, a Van Dijk who's good on the ball passing out from the back, because I don't think Maguire or Varane are those type of players either. I mean, Varane's technically better than Maguire, but we're not got a lot of creativity in that team.
You know what? I'll write this down as well. The first half is a classic Jose half, and I know we don't want to be that. We want to be this. We want to be Liverpool. We want to be Man City in style of play. We don't want to be Liverpool or Man City, but in style of play, we want to be exciting. Cormac says Subbridge, but that's quite a Mourinho performance. Control the ball so the opposition can't have it, but not really committing men forward. Evolution. We might be going through stages, or he might be looking at it and going, that's how we get top four. We grind out results. We'll have to wait and see. I don't see Ranić getting the job anyway. So realistically, if he gets top four, some people would say that the end justifies the means, Greenwood is trash. Ronaldo is dribbling for the first time since coming back, which to me is a good sign that he's confident, says 72. Second half just about to start here. We'll tell you when the timer kicks in, and it just has. If you want to become a member, you have to click the join button if you've got it. It might not be in your country, though. Thanks, everyone who supports the channel and becomes a member, by the way. You get a little badge next to your name in the chat, which changes every month. Just about to hit 30 seconds, if that helps. Absolute Muppet says this is the most control we've had in a game for a long time, and I think that is a great performance. A great point. We have been in control of the game. There's no two ways about that. We have been in control of the game, but you can be in control of the game without scoring, and that's the problem. Our captain sitting down his haters, says Matt. I probably just won't read silly comments out anymore, because what does it do? Everyone knows you're talking out your arse, and it doesn't really give me anywhere to go in relation to a decent conversation. Control better than random long balls, says Vandy Candy. And Jay says, we've been very poor in the final third. We seem to be better when we do one touch on the ball as opposed to dribbling to the player's feet. Greenwood, ego, Ronaldo, close, but not Alanga creative, I think, says Thomas. I certainly will do a little bet with you and say that Rashford will be on by 70 minutes. No one wins any money, but just a little bet between us. I think Rashford will be on by 70 minutes. Probably for Alanga. Well, it will be for Alanga. Man United will awake from the dead. We will finish second, says SS11. And Ricky will like the first half, control and shape. Yes, he will, Brad. Very good point. I'm telling you now, Brad, that's what you need to do at this level. We haven't got the players, Brad, to play like Liverpool or Man City. You've got to control the game, and that's what we've done in that half. I've loved it, every minute of it. I'm going to watch it 10 times. Any plans to come to America, Mark, says Luke James? Well, I'd love to come to America, but Alanga's got a chance here on the wing. And again, it's a similar sort of shooting thing where they cut inside. Our wing players have got to stop doing that. At this point, bring back Ollie, says O'Shane. But it's the same thing again there. Alanga, he does well, cuts inside. There's no shot on, and he shoots. It could be any player. He's got so many West Ham players around him, and he's trying to shoot. It's this. You could sub him up. It could be Rashford or Greenwood doing that. It seems to be an issue with our wide players cutting in and just shooting. And I don't mind them shooting if they've got a shot on goal, but they just shoot. It's like shooting on FIFA outside the box this year. Everyone always gets a block on. Hey, Mark, love your videos all the way from Australia. Watch your content every day. Who would be your dream summer signing for United? Kimmich, Michael. Ralph has managed to more technical players. What exactly is he agreeing with other managers for the Donny snub? I'm inquisitive to know. I don't know. I don't really know. Good chance for Fred. He hit it quite well, actually. For a player of Fred's quality, he did hit it quite well. It was a good chance. And keeper made a good save. You are? Yeah. I mean, Lil says he should have hit it across him, but he's a midfielder. He's a centre midfielder. I think I won't knock Fred for that. He's I think he's hit that quite well. For a midfielder, all I'd say is hit the target. So better start, big chance. That's probably our best chance of the game, isn't it? If we grind out results, put our arse on the line. Second is coming. Oh, SS11. You're boring the shit out of me now. Second, like, do yourself a favour and just stop putting super chats in like that, because it doesn't leave me anywhere to go. There's no conversation, is it? You're talking out of your arse. We're not getting second place. You're exposing yourself as an idiot. Third, possibly, but no, we're never in a million years are we getting second. Give Fred a break. I think that's put it. He's hit it well. He's put it on target. You know, he's not bloody Erling Haaland, is he? No. There's a distinct lack of service. West Ham on the attack here. I don't want to see them getting chances. Good defence by United. That's something to consider in the second half, though. I mean, be very surprised if West Ham don't get a chance in this game. It's the Premier League, isn't it? Do you think Ralph has the bottle to take Ronaldo off again? Yes, Joe. And he may well do it in this sort of a game. I wouldn't have. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not saying I would sub Ronaldo, but in this sort of a game, you know, sometimes you do take off your number 9, don't you? Thought on Levin's latest tweet. I've just read it. Look, I'm not the genius of football, and he's certainly not either. So it's just an opinion. You know, and funnily enough, Draughty said it at halftime as well. There's a lack of creativity in that team. It's a very hard-working performance from United with a lack of creativity. What Levin's saying is that the front line have been wasteful with the ball. You know, I'd have to watch the first half again to say he's wrong on that, because obviously he's seen it in that way. But everyone sees the game differently. But the reality is, for all the possession we've had, have we spent a lot of the time around their final third? And we haven't. So there's got to be a reason for that. Only one shot on target in 7 attempts. Absolutely dreadful, says Joel. Yeah, but it depends how you define a shot, because is Alanga's shot a shot? Is Greenwood's shot a shot? I mean, literally, they've shot with a player a metre away from them. I don't think that should be counted as a shot. It's never going anywhere near the goal. It's always going to get blocked, isn't it? Anyway, West Ham with a corner. It's my 21st birthday, says Gary. Happy birthday, Gary. Sunshine, Gary Neville. Oh, that was a good shot by Bowen. Side netting, hit it well. Wolves game, I think there was a drone, so there's been a delay. Do you think United can still win this game, says Football Jacob? Let me think. Yes, they can. But so could West Ham, and it could be a draw. I mean, Greenwood's been very quiet, hasn't he? Putting the effort in, but he's been very quiet. Alanga's been quiet, putting the effort in. Ronaldo's been quiet, putting the effort in. Chelsea will fail. Liverpool will have a blip, says SS1. He's still talking about second place. I think he's just one of them people who just wants to be heard. Got to be a bit careful of West Ham growing into this game, haven't we? Also, how much effort did we put into that first half to get that control? There was a lot of pressing in that half. Can they keep that up for 90 minutes, or are they going to have to give up possession, for a period of time? So that's going to be very interesting in the second half as well. It was something that occurred to me. Jack says, "Hey, Daddy." Don't think I'm your dad, Jack. Can't confirm 100%, but I don't think so. Alanga's holding his foot here. If we draw today, will we sign Hadara, says Gan. I think United's board would probably think it's a good draw, to be honest. Draw is a terrible result, says Sebastian. It's a dross, isn't it? To coin a phrase from a few years ago. Who was the manager we started the dross off with? I think it was Mourinho. Might have been Van Gaal, where we used to draw games, but we needed to win. So it wasn't a loss, but it was a dross. Greenwood is a complete waste of space on that right side, says Josh. Maguire's been booked, apparently. Yeah, he has. None of the match, Harry Maguire. It's my standard mark. Believe you shall achieve, says SS11. Mark, can we always announce a raffle for which corner United will score from? I'll have 1-4-2, please. That's a good idea, Danny Palmer. It's just very hard to remember, isn't it? But yeah, on what corner will United score a corner from? We're up to 100 and something now. Yeah. It's definitely that sort of level. Stu says it's very Van Gaal-esque, this sort of game. I said it, didn't I? It's got that sort of feel to it where it's just very... I don't know. I think Rangnick's... I don't know. It's hard to see what the end game was in this game. I mean, obviously he wants to win it, but... United on the attack here. Ronaldo, good run. Wins a corner. Get Sancho on. We can't do that, Darry. He's not a fit. He's not on the bench, sorry. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on the United stands. We've got the match reaction after this. Player ratings will be coming up in the second half. Corner. And I tell you what, whatever number corner that was, it could have been a goal. It was a good delivery. And Varane got his head on it. But it was just over the bar. Probably the best corner we've had in a long, long time. Tellez with the cross. Varane headed it just over the bar. That's the sort of goal you need in a game like this. That's the sort of game that ends up winning your games like this. You get the goal, you keep the clean sheet. I did say we'd get a clean sheet today as well. Let me get this straight. We've got 30 coaches apparently, brought in a set-piece specialist as well. No goals from corners. Good job recruitment, says B. Yakov. Varane's actually a decent asset to have for corners. I'm sure he will score at some point. Something is definitely wrong with the team if Harry Maguire is man of the match. He's not man of the match, Jack. It's a joke. Rashford's coming on. Told you. Earliest sub. That's the earliest sub I've seen United make in a long, long time. I don't know whether it will get any better. Well, that's it. You know, I spoke about this, didn't I, in the week? The hunger to get Maguire and Rashford back into the team is very evident from Ranić. You know, getting Harry Maguire on against Brentford, I don't think we needed to do that, and he did it. Getting Rashford on after not even hitting 60 minutes, we never make subs that quick. So it's interesting, isn't it? This hunger to get back to Rashford and Maguire being in the starting 11, and it's not taking him long to do it. It'll be Elanga who's coming off. It'll be Elanga for Rashford. I hope Rashford does score. He scored against Brentford, didn't he? I mean, that's exactly what we want Rashford to do. I feel a bit sorry for Ronaldo. He's got bloody Greenwood one side and Rashford the other. His chances of getting a cross or a pass have just diminished massively. Mark, what was your 100 million? What was your 100-meter time in school? And can you call my mate CJ a donkey? Says Jesse. Well, United got the ball on the right here, and not a bad shot by Elanga, just wide. Is Donny on the bench? Yes, he is, Darry. Fairy Liquid FC, says Halls. What's my 100-meter time? I don't fucking know. I haven't been at school for decades. I don't know what my 100-meter time was. They probably didn't give a shit. Probably too busy having a cigarette around the bike sheds. I played football. I wasn't interested in running 100 meters. Smart manager would get Donny on to create more chances, says Morland. Come on, Rashford. So them haters. I feel like United fans want him to have a bad game, says Don Ollie. I would hope that's not the case. My 100-meter time was probably like 9.2, something like that. Is that good? Apparently, it was a world record. Oh, okay. Not familiar with how football contracts work, but it almost feels like there is a playtime clause written into some of these players. It was odd when Ollie did it, but now Ranić is doing the same thing, says Brody. Alanga's off for Rashford. This manager isn't good enough, says Martial Jr. Well, all the favourites are back in the team. Let's hope they can deliver. Rashford loses the ball straight away, running straight into a West Ham player. Don't worry, Marcus. You'll get plenty more chances to do that. Oh, God. I think Declan Rice has been booked now. I low-key want Rashford to have a bad game, says Ollie Roach. Come on, Ollie. Well, fair play for being honest, but that's not a very good way to be, is it? Can we get Greenwood off that right-hand side? Such a waste. He's becoming too predictable. Everyone knows he wants to shoot every time, says Owen Williams. Well, he's been very quiet here. I feel like this might have Wolves vibes. Remember when we beat Wolves? This has got a very similar feel. Has Rice been quality, says Clay? I think it's been a typical Declan Rice against United performance. He's been okay, but I don't think he's been amazing. In fact, I don't think the midfield battle has been won by anybody. I think they've cancelled each other out, which is better for United, to be fair. But I think this has got Wolves vibes. Remember when we played Wolves last Christmas? Not this Christmas. And Rashford scored right near the end with a deflected goal, and it was going to be a really disappointing sort of draw. Got a feeling this game might be like that. Bruno shoots wildly over. It's just got that feeling of a game that's just a bit... Mark, do you feel Ralph has not lived up to expectations? Says Jimmy Conway. I just think he's got a very hard job, Jimmy. I think any manager would struggle. Apparently, Don says that Rashford gets more abuse than Martial. Yeah, I don't think that's the case, but there you go. Yeah, I mean, I'd throw Bruno into that category as well. I just tweeted it there. There's too many players in our team who just get absolute head down obsession. I'm going to shoot, and the best about it is they don't even look at the situation. Like there might be a player in front of them. You know, Mark, imagine playing with Keane and Scholes to Modric and Kroos and now Fred and McTominay. I feel for Ronaldo, honestly, says Reeves. Hader, thank you very much for the super chat. I just hope we can find a win here because I really think player ratings are going to be very difficult because I just don't think there's not really been a bad performance, but there's not really been a good performance. I think everybody's a 6. Like Delo probably still would be my man of the match. But West Ham with a bit of a break here with Bowen. There's lots of United players back, which is good to see. And yeah, that's one thing I would say about this performance from United is that we've always had plenty of numbers back, which is why De Gea's not had a chance, not had to make any saves. As Martin Lewis says, at least De Gea hasn't had many shots to save. Why not 4-3-2-1? Play Fred and Scott as screeners and high Angry Donny in the box bowl role. Bruno and Sancho as 10s, says Angel and Soul. People expect Ralph to reinvent the team, but you wouldn't listen to your substitute Tisha. Why would these players listen to an interim manager, says Cormac? Good link-up play between Ronaldo and Rashford there. I think, you know, I'll try to think. I'll use Fred as an example. You couldn't say he's had a bad game. He's had a very hard-working, honest game. But the problem is Fred's hard-working, honest game good enough? And that's the problem. You know, even when these players play reasonably well, the ability is not good enough. I don't know why that was a foul there, because if Maguire's on a yellow card, surely you should be looking at giving him a second yellow. See what Ronaldo did. Pass. Strikers can pass too, says Somya. Jay Wolf says that Fred's been good. Well, if Fred's been good, why aren't we winning the game then, mate? Like, this is what I'm talking about, standards. They may well be playing to their level, but it's not good enough. Why are we not winning this game then? Why are we not creating loads of chances? If everybody's having a good game, why are we not playing? Why is it not working? And that's where people don't want to delve into. Are you happy that we're drawing a game that we deserve to be drawing? Why aren't we winning it? Explain to me why we're not winning it. And I'll tell you, the players aren't good enough. They're just not good enough. There's too many players in that team who are just not good enough to wear the red of Manchester United. Bowen is almost like an Aldi Hazard, says it's happy. He should have made changes in the midfield again. I don't even care if he takes Bruno off for Donny. Just bring somebody creative on. Phil Jones is warming up. It's going to go to a back three, isn't he? Well, if he goes to a back three, it'll have to be Greenwood off, I suppose, and get Bruno more attacking. We can see why we need Sancho in the team, says Sebastian. The control and creativity offers is on another level. And Dean says, you think certain players are trying to get through Ronaldo under the bus, purposely not passing to Ronaldo so he won't get the service, says Dean. Need to be a little bit careful here. Might be Phil Jones is coming on because of an injury. We'll have to wait and see who comes on. West Ham are making a change. Kufel's off. Apparently Varane's injured. 20 minutes to go. You don't want to see that. Saying Miasi's got a cup of tea. My boy just shouted McTrash Fred at the TV, says Titch. Christian makes a good point. He says Fredericks has not played most of the season. Rashford has got to take that opportunity. Well, Rashford's over on the right-hand side at the moment. It's Greenwood who's gone to the left. Exactly. I think I've just summed it up here. I've said he needs to make a creative sub in the midfield. Fred's worked hard, and I don't think he's had a bad game, but he's not a creative player, is he? You know, McTominay's just not in the game. He can't drive forward. So, Mark, choose for me an Indian or Chinese for tea. Oliver James, if I was choosing for you tonight, I'd flip a coin. I'd be happy with a Chinese. I'd be happy with an Indian tonight. Normally, I would have a preference, but I'd be happy with either. Another cross coming in and people are saying it's a penalty on Ronaldo. No chance. No chance. Debates in the chat about Indian or Chinese. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, to get involved with the channel. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. Every morning we have a show as well, normally around 10 o'clock. I don't think United have made their sub yet, have they? Delo is my man of the match. Player ratings will be coming out very soon, actually. I'll drop the link in the video description. You're spot on about the Wolves game comparison. Only it's going to be Soucek instead of Moutinho, says Noah. Yeah, we're getting close to 257,500. We're only 100 away. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. United, what do we got? About sort of coming up for 15 minutes left. Well, he can scream for Pogba all it likes. He's not gonna play, is he? Tellez with a shot. Mark, did you notice this after Klopp's comments? Our penalties given dropped significantly to Sebastian Bodri. I don't know what the thing about the Mac Apple ad was, because I didn't hear it, but obviously a lot of you did. I'm disgusted by United fans, how they treat their player, but mostly Rashford. The only thing I see in the chat is abuse to Rashford, and no one's seeing it, says Don. Well, you know, people have got every right to give an opinion on a player if they want. I just ignore it, mate. You know, I get abused myself. It's just ignore it. You've got your own opinion. If you like Rashford, you like Rashford. Enjoy life. Stop telling people what to think or do, and stop being trolled by people who win when you let them know that you're bothering them. I mean, that's not a good idea to do a super chat saying, I hate it, I'm getting really angry about all the abuse of Rashford. They're just going to do it even more. Fred's shot is our only shot on goal on board, says Sean Atwood. Yeah, it's not been good enough second. The problem is the second half has been like the first half, hasn't it? I don't know. Maguire's been decent, to be fair. People just have agendas. Mate, can people stop talking about fucking Maguire, Rashford? We need to win this game of football. We're not Maguire FC. We're not Rashford FC. We're not Ronaldo FC. We're Manchester United. We're creating absolutely nothing in a game that really we need to win. He should have brought something creative on by now. I couldn't give a toss whether Maguire's headed it or tackled it. You know, what does it matter? We're Manchester United. Why do people get so locked in on individualism? Will that get us top four? Grow up. So we need to win. 75 minutes creating nothing, but he just sticks with the same dead midfield. Ralph's either clueless or has Ollie politics going on, says Robbo. Oh, and that's the first shot really for West Ham, straight at the keeper from Antonio, wriggled free and got a shot off, but straight at the keeper. Thank God for that. Well, Varane hasn't come off. Morgan, thank you very much for the super chat. Apparently Wolves are winning 1-0. Everyone's getting frustrated, says Reza. Well, exactly, I am. With 10 minutes to go, it is getting a bit frustrating, to be honest with you. But look, as I said, we beat Wolves about 18 months ago in a very similar game. Well, it wasn't 18 months ago, it was 13 months ago. And we scored very late on. And, you know, what was a very boring game became a very, very big win. So let's hope that we can repeat that here today as we approach the last 10 minutes. I've just dropped the link in the video description for player ratings. You can go to the website now and mark every player out of 10, 6 being your average. We'll go through that on the match reaction. I suppose the draw was always the fear. Lack of subs is very disappointing. Oh, Varane's down now. I don't know who said Varane was injured, because he's definitely down now, and I don't know why he's down now. I don't know whether he's been. Oh no, he has. He was in a challenge. Thank God for that. Who? Maybe he can have like another debut, Martial. The new debut where he comes on and scores the goal and reignites the season. But Varane's down here. He went up for a header with Antonio and that's gone down awkwardly. Well, links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Phil Jones is warming up. Very quiet game today from some of our players. I mean, Greenwood's been quiet. McTominay's been quiet. Tellez has been quite quiet. I wouldn't say they've been bad, just very, very quiet. Especially McTominay, who was so good in that Brentford second half. Quiet. Bruno as well. Yeah, another one. Quiet. It's an arm. Newcastle what? Scored. Oh, that's a massive goal there. Newcastle have gone 1-0 up. "10 minutes to find a winner. Are we going to do it?" Weird game because, you know, I don't think you could criticise and say, oh, we played for a draw. I don't think it's like that at all. I just don't think we've really capitalised on the fact that we are the home side and, you know, we've had a lot of the ball. But if we find a winner, no one remembers it. It's not, you know, this is the thing about football, isn't it? You know, if you find that winner and you win the game, we'll forget this in a couple of weeks and just go, that was a good 3 points. Lack of subs is frustrating, though. Yeah, Bruno's never going to get a penalty for that. Cavani is on for Fred. Riddle me that. And Martial is on for, must be Greenwood. Yeah. "10 minutes. He's going for the win. He's going for a win, isn't he? Because we've got Ronaldo, Martial, Greenwood, Cavani. Can't knock him that. He's going for the win, isn't he? Martial go to the left wing. Attack, attack, attack. Shooting from 30. I'll tell you what, I'm fed up with the shots from fucking 30 and 40 yards. I mean, there's something wrong on the training ground because everybody shoots from stupid angles. It's so annoying. Greenwood, Alanga, Rashford, bloody Tellez, Bruno, Delot. They're all, I mean, if I'm Ronaldo and Cavani, I'm like, bloody hell. Have you seen my Wikipedia page? Put some bloody crosses in the box. I swear if I see one more shot from outside the box, I mean, I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to write it down for the match reaction. It's ridiculous. It's just gives the ball back to West Ham. Was there some booing of Martial? I don't know. I would hope not. That's something that United crowds have prided themselves on for years, that you don't boo players. So I would hope that they haven't booed him. I'd be very surprised. Heading towards 5 minutes to go here. What does it mean for the league table? Somebody just said. Well, I'll tell you now what it means for the league table. It means that we would have played 22 games and be on 36 points, which would put us 2 points behind West Ham with a game in hand, but only on the same points as Spurs, who've got 3 games in hand, and only a point ahead of Arsenal, who've got 2 games in hand. So it's not good, really. It's not good at all. Is more attackers going to help? We need a midfield change. Well, I did think that, Salah. The subs for me have been shit. But if it wins the game, it wins the game. And we've had 15 attempts, but 1 on target. I don't know where these attempts are. They must just be irrelevant shots from distance. I mean, to be fair, Martial's looked more threatening than anything else we've had in the team. Because he actually looks to pass and move, whereas everyone else just looks to bloody run and shoot. Making steak, Mark. What do you recommend to have with it? Ooh, Chris, I'd have mushrooms, poached egg, baked beans, fried onion rings, chips. It's been a hard watch, this, hasn't it? Which is what JR's just said. I mean, West Ham have created nothing. I mean, David De Gea's had nothing to do. Like, defensively, we've, this has been the problem, I think, with defensively, we've set up well, but we just had nothing on the attack. All the away teams have won or winning at the moment, says Corey. If we lose, do you think Ralph got the subs wrong, says Shane? Well, but if we draw, he's got the subs wrong. I don't know why people think a draw is a good result. West Ham nearly scoring for that corner as well. It came flicked on at the front post by Soucek, went right across the 6-yard box. If someone had stuck their leg out, it could have been a goal. People ask why I don't support United anymore, says Luke. Like why would I bother with this crap when I can support City or Liverpool? Come on, Luke. You can't do that. That's not supporting anybody, is it? 5:25 for him, I think. Cool. A lot of people getting on McTominay's back. Well, I don't think he's had a good game today. And again, it's like follows up a good second half against Brentford with a very lackluster performance against a decent midfield. Well, this is the problem, though, is it? It's not a coincidence that you play well against Brentford and Burnley, but you do nothing against West Ham because they've got good players in their midfield. And I'm not saying that Rice and Soucek have played well either, but he's just been very, very quiet. Martial sub is showing that Ranić is just another puppet. He clearly wants him gone and club made him put him back in the team, to Sebastian. Opportunity wasted. Yeah. I still think we should play Sancho and Martial on the wings as often as possible, says Bjorn. Well, we're nearly into the 90th minute here. McTominay's and Fred again lacking, says MVP. And De Gea makes the save. The defining word for this match is a waste. Wasted passes, long shots, wasting chances, greed from players, disgusting match and result, says Iram, who's obviously not very happy. Hi, Mark. Despite being a Liverpool supporter, I do love your channel. My husband, Andy, is a Man United supporter, and we'd love to watch your channel together, says Zantia. Thank you very much, by the way. West Ham have a corner here, so United are nowhere near winning this at the moment. Martial, man of the match. I'm sure Ricky probably would give him that. He just gives you a little bit of balance, doesn't he? Well, he wants to pass. Main results, Donny is travelling tonight on a plane. I can see the red tail lights heading for Spain, says Gertrude. I don't think he'll be off to Spain, but he needs to go somewhere. Three minutes added on. There's already lost a minute. What do you think of? I'm not saying that. Big up yourself, Mark. You put up with a lot of stuff with United, just like most of us. Keep doing what you're doing. It helps in more ways than one, says United like Manchester. Thanks, pal. You know, I absolutely hate draws. I really hate draws. I don't mind a draw if it's like a 3-3, 3-3, and you come off and you go that you're proud to have played in that. But these type of draws, of which we've seen a lot over the last 8 years, are just so hard to enjoy, really. Martial Sink coming on has looked our best winger. Wish he could just give a chance before asking to leave. I don't think he wants to play on the wing, though, Luke. And that's the problem. He doesn't want to play on the wing. Playing like we're good with a draw here. Sancho outright needs to happen, says Brad. Keeper's got it for West Ham now. Minute to go. It's a very good result for for West Ham, considering how they've played. They would take that. Still 50 seconds to go. It's just disappointing because West Ham just haven't really been at the races at all. Yes! Manchester United, Rashford at the end. Rashford wins it for Manchester United at the end. Get in. I told you. I said Wolves 13 months ago. Exactly the same thing happened at Old Trafford. We were crap. Absolutely rubbish. 0-0 all the way. And Rashford shoots and he scores off a deflected shot. Well, 13 months later, we've only gone and done it. Ranić brings on the attackers. The cross comes in. I don't know who puts the cross. I mean, Rashford, it's a tap-in. It's a tap-in. But he might be offside. We're just going to wait and see. Cavani's going to be offside. Bloody hell, he's going to be offside. Cavani's going to be offside, I think. Martial does so well to play it in, but I think he's offside. I think Cavani's offside. He's on. He's on. Get in, says MVP. I think he's onside. It's onside. Get in. Massive 3 points for United there. Rashford with the tap in. He's onside. Massive result. Late on. I told you. I kept saying it's got that feel of Wolves 13 months ago under Ollie. A bad draw that we'll forget because of a big win. And we needed to win that. Absolutely needed to win it. Huge, huge win for Manchester United. Right at the end as well. There's no time left. No time left. If anything Spurs can do, we can do better. And the ref's blown the whistle as well. Get in. Love it. Absolutely love it. Love it. Moyes is fuming. Sit down, David Moyes. Oh, I tell you, that's just such a massive result. Massive result. I mean, Rashford, I'd have scored it. It's a lovely cross by Cavani. Lovely play by Martial. I think Martial made a massive difference. Massive difference. Put a controversial tweet out there, but I think Anthony Martial made a huge, huge difference in that game. He really did. And look, give Ralf Rangnick his credit. He's probably 30 seconds away from getting absolute pelters, but he did go and bring on 4 attackers. So, you know, you got to give him a bit of credit. But I think Martial made the difference. I really did. I think that for me, I'd put Martial on the left and start him on the left, but I don't know whether he wants to play on the left. Just having a player that wants to run with the ball made such a difference. Look, I'll talk about that on the match reaction. We're going to go. I'll push you over there. Yeah, push you over there. Player ratings, links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We're going to go straight to the match reaction. I just need to... What's going on here now? It's freezing. Don't do that. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. It's in your link in the video description. And we'll be on the match reaction talking about what has been an amazingly shit, boring game defined by a very, very important late goal for Manchester United. I will see you over on the match reaction in the next minute.